Hello there, guys, gals, and non-binary pals. Welcome to tonight's stream. Tonight we are going to give our focus to David Cronenberg, arguably Canada's most famous film director, unless you count Ivan Reitman, that is. And Ivan Reitman is good in his own right. Right, Reitman. Bad joke. To me, DC, or David Cronenberg, is one of the most quintessential horror film directors. His work is highly original and at times very controversial. Yet he remains true to his vision and doesn't hold your hand, which we'll talk about later. So without further ado, I want to welcome my co-host and body horror gorehound, John Rennie. Now, John may sound like he's from Sunderland, bear in mind, but in actuality, he's really from the Boneyard. So, hello, John.
Hello, thanks for having us, Kerry.
No problem, John.
Hey, Perry in the chat.
Okay, well, I get the chat up so I can. Hello, Perry. I'll just put this on overlay so people can see.
Ah, cool.
I forgot about it last time. My bad. So we were reading the comments and they were being seen. So feedback is great. So how you been, John?
Excellent. I saw the Shrouds on Wednesday.
Cool. How did you find it?
Yeah, a lot of dialogue for Cronenberg, I thought. I didn't think it was his most visually stunning film. You could tell it had a bit of a lower budget than Crimes of the Future.
Yeah.
I think you could definitely tell it was a lower budget. I did like it, but I didn't love it.
Okay.
But I'm sure once I get the physical copy and watch it again, I mean, all of his films grow on you.
Yeah, I think so too. Yeah.
I think all of them do.
Hello, Adam. Good evening, Kerry, John, Perry. Hope you're well and have a great week. Here's another good stream. Thanks, Adam.
Good to hear it, Adam. I've had a pretty good week as well.
Cool. Yeah, I felt The Shrouds was a slow film.
It is slow. That's what I was a little bit shocked about because his visuals are always driving. No, it's all right, but his visuals are always driving. And it was just, I don't know, there was a lot of dialogue in it, a lot. And it was 2 hours, wall-to-wall dialogue, I thought.
Yeah, it was very, see, normally I'd say Cronenberg focuses on the visual.
Yes.
As you say, in his films.
Yep.
And I would say this one was not unique, but it was a departure.
It was, yeah. I mean, it was very sad.
Yeah.
And like I say, I mean, we'll get into it because I didn't watch any press for that film for 2 years.
Okay.
I mean, once it was announced, I didn't want to know anything about it. I didn't watch the trailers. I didn't read any interviews. Didn't look at any of the press, anything for 2 years. So the day after I saw the film, I just spent the whole kind of afternoon watching all the press junkets and stuff that he'd done. I watched him at the New York Film Festival. I watched him at TIFF, the festival. I watched him doing different radio shows and different podcasts. And some of what he said really surprised us. And it's some stuff I'd like to bring up tonight because I feel like I learned some new stuff about Cronenberg. Watching his press for the Shrouds. I really did.
Well, didn't go to Cannes as well, didn't it?
It did, yeah, but it was part of the official selection. I don't think it won anything, but it was
no, I don't think so either.
But it was part of the official selection.
Yeah, I think it went last year and then the worldwide premiere this year.
Yeah, I've been waiting for it for ages. I've been checking the dates, and then it was supposed to be released last month in the UK. Then it didn't get released last month in the UK. But I mean, it was definitely worth seeing in the cinema because it didn't look like his other movies either.
No,
I don't know if you noticed the way that he shot his close-ups in the film. There was lots of space in them.
Yeah, it was like more widescreen than
it was. Yeah, and I thought that really lent itself to the big screen because usually he's kind of dead on, shoots very clinically. Like say something like Map to the Stars. Almost everybody's center frame all the time, and I really like that.
You know, in Cosmopolis, you know, Robert Pattinson's the center of attention always.
Very central. Yep. I mean, that whole movie is almost like you're in the car with him. Yeah. But it's like, but the way he shoots, it's square on. You know.
And then when he gets out of the limo, you know, to see I forget the actor's name.
Paul Giamatti, was it?
That's him. Yeah, him. It goes widescreen. Yep. And your focus is on the two characters and their dynamic, and it's like, okay,
it's amazing that
you know they're going to fight early, or because you know, he's a rebel, not a rebel, but he's a protester, isn't he?
Well, he's so he's the one who's going to ruin his life.
Yeah.
It's brilliant, that ending. I mean, I don't know how we're doing the same as before. Adam and Perry, anyone in the chat? Do you guys mind if we do spoilers? Because I don't want to say anything about the Shrouds. That
unless people are okay with it.
Unless people are okay with it, because we could get into it. But Cosmopolis, I heard Robert Pattinson say that that's his favorite film that he's ever made.
Oh, right. Okay.
I saw him getting interviewed about it recently as well. I think it was when he was doing the Mickey 17 press.
Yeah.
But he was saying he loved Mickey 17 and being in it. But he kept mentioning Cronenberg and saying how much he loved making Cosmopolis and how it was one of his best experiences.
I think it's great that you know him and Kirsten Stewart have got away from Twilight and they're doing their own, more suitable to their skill set.
I think she gets a bit of a bad rep. Spoil away. Carry on, mate. Okay. Cheers, Adam. Cheers, Barry.
Okay, grand soul.
But I really like a lot of her stuff. I loved Personal Shopper. I thought that was a great film. But she kind of stood on her own as well, didn't she? He did first.
Yeah. He was in with the Harry Potters, and then he got cast in Twilight.
Yep.
So, and then she did some smaller roles, I think, in kind of the late 90s, I think, when she was a kid.
She was in that Wonderland, wasn't she? The one with Adventureland, sorry. Adventureland.
Oh, Adventureland, all right.
Yeah,
okay.
I remember I've been Adventureland. I think that was the first time I saw her. But I think they were both young actors.
Yeah, I know she made her film debut at age 8, I think.
And the first thing I saw Pattinson in was The Haunted Airman, which was a BBC television show.
Okay.
He was a ghost of a pilot, I think, from the war, if I remember.
Oh,
right. It's been a long time since I've seen that, but I think it was 2000, maybe early 2000s. But Cronenberg's always been great at doing that.
Yes.
I mean, he cast Vigo, and Vigo was on top of the world. Right. You know, he picked James Woods up right at the right time when James Woods was about to break for Videodrome. Christopher Walken, fresh off Day Hunter, he grabs him for the Dead Zone.
Jeff
Goldblum is just about to break as well. He's really good at doing that. And
Michael Ironside.
Yeah, totally. Michael Ironside. Yeah, well, Michael Ironside was that was just before he went to Hollywood, wasn't it? Because he done.
Scanners was 81, 82.
82.
No, Scanners was 81. I think he went to Hollywood 82, 83. I'm not sure. It was after Scanners anyway.
After Scanners. Well, Scanners was Canadian, right? I guess.
Yeah.
And did he ever make any film apart from Map to the Stars outside of Canada, Cronenberg?
I think Cosmopolis.
Cosmopolis. So he did Cosmopolis, Map to the Stars, New York.
Yeah, New York.
All right. But I know that that's what struck me about Map to the Stars. It was like it really felt. I mean, it felt Cronenbergian, but the place was different, and I really like that about Map to the Stars. I think it's one of his most underrated films, Map to the Stars.
I think it was. You knew that you're like, this is an attack on Hollywood.
Yeah.
And you knew it was like in Hollywood or California.
I think the
and give that vibe. I think
he said they shot there for like 6 days or something. I seem to remember him talking about doing the exteriors and stuff. I think they shot there for 6 days. But I love it. It's got one of the things I love when I was teaching cinema. I taught editing with sound, and I also taught different sound techniques. And I would show Cronenberg's work, especially Map to the Stars and Existenz, to show students how sound can be used. Because in Existenz, for example, it wasn't like cheap glitches. It wasn't tricks.
No,
to go from the real world into the game.
Yeah,
he did it with sound, and it's so incredible, the sound in Existenz. And I felt that about Map to the Stars as well. It's so subdued.
Yeah,
you've just got this little low hum of traffic in the background, like through the whole movie. And I love the way that the dialogue sounds in Map to the Stars. It's so like. There's no reverb or anything on it. It's like empty when the people speak. I love it.
It's very like, as I said earlier, you're in a car with him.
Yeah.
And like, but you feel like you're a fly on the wall.
Yep.
On the window. I mean, listening to him talk to the driver, and then his own thoughts.
It's interesting that in both films, because Map to the Stars, Robert Pattinson was in a car.
Yeah.
Because he was a chauffeur in Map to the Stars as well.
It's a sequel. He lost all his money. He had to take his job.
He got cast in Star Trek.
Oh, Jesus, don't say that.
He's that blue beast thing. It's great. She says, I hate space operas or something, doesn't she? The actress, when he says, I've got a gig in a sci-fi TV show, and she says, I hate space soaps.
So, spoilers on the Shrouds then.
All right.
Okay, well, we'll start off with the main theme. It's basically death and mourning.
Yeah, it's grief. It's getting over grief, but not getting over it.
Yeah,
it's living with it. It's about living with it, and it's really harrowing.
Yeah, it's very autobiographical too.
It is. It's sad. It's sad. I mean, there's scenes. So this is spoilers. For anyone that wants to watching later and they might want to skip ahead, we'll talk like for a couple of minutes about it, I guess.
Yeah, we'll talk about four minutes or so.
All right. And then so his wife dies, but you see her body deteriorate. So she looks, Diane Kruger's naked. She looks absolutely stunning. Vincent Cassel's naked for a lot of the film, totally stunning as well. They look fantastic, the two of them. But then the cancer starts to attack her, and they remove her arm and they remove her left breast. Then they have to cut her open and stitch her back up inside. And he's frightened to touch her because he doesn't want to break her. It's so sad. And I imagine that's the autobiographical element of it. There's a bit where he hugs his wife and he snaps her bones because she's so brittle. And the whole cinema, I think it was a thigh that snapped, and the whole and the whole cinema went like the whole cinema. It was it was a shocking moment. It was it was really well made, and it was real body horror. That was actually somebody's body breaking, and the whole cinema went.
It's not traditional for Cronenberg to do that kind of.
It is. I mean, there's a subplot about the growths. There's a subplot. So the film is about watching your dead loved ones deteriorate. Yeah. Vincent Cassel works for a company, or invented a company called Grave Tech, which wraps the dead in shrouds and then buries them. And the shrouds allow you, through a screen on the grave, to see a 360 view of your dead loved one disintegrating. Decomposing. And he goes and looks at his dead wife quite a lot. I mean, the opening 5 minutes is great. He's having a date, and he's talking about his dead wife, and then he says, "Oh, do you want to see her?" And he takes his date to his dead wife's grave, and then shows his dead wife in this grave. It was, but that's just the beginning. It's actually about conspiracy theories. I mean, the whole movie's about conspiracy theories and how they kind of empower people. Diane Kruger gets turned on when people talk about conspiracy theories.
Crash.
Crash.
Crash theories. But I felt as well that ironically, we said at the beginning, like in the beginning of the film, he's on a date.
Yeah.
And It's in a restaurant, and the restaurant is part of Gravetech's business. So basically, the restaurant's here, the graveyard's about 20 yards down the road.
He had a really good point. I was watching, like I say, I watch so much of the press junkets now, and he said it's about a guy kind of profiting off death.
Yeah,
because he gets people to pay him for this, obviously. And Cronenberg said it in the same way I'm profiting off my wife's death because I've turned it into a movie. It was really interesting to hear him say that, but he said so much. He did. I mean, it was so much. He doesn't believe it's cathartic. He actually said he does not believe art is cathartic. And he doesn't believe that he's working through grief or anything by making this film, but he's living with it. He told a great story where a psychiatrist came to speak to him who was writing a book about, I think it was grief in cinema, and he wanted to interview Cronenberg. And after the interview, he kind of said to Cronenberg, "So how are you doing?" And Cronenberg said, "I'm suffering, man. My wife's dead. I'm suffering." And the doctor said, "Oh, well, you're fine then. You don't need therapy." Do you know what I mean? Because you're supposed to suffer. It's not going to go away. And that's what the movie's about. It's about the fact that you've got to live with it and you will suffer. It's not going to go away. There's no cathartic answer. Yeah. And the film begins with a scream when he's having a nightmare, and it kind of ends with a half nightmare. But he's living with it. Nothing's really resolved. That's from the other reviewers. That's been the biggest complaint I've heard, that they feel like nothing's resolved.
I watched an interview he did there. I think it was like May time, and he was talking about the gap between Map to the Stars to Crimes in the Future.
Was it 7 years? How long was it?
2015, 7 years. Yeah,
7 years.
So. But he, for 2015 to 2020, he didn't feel like writing anything or doing anything.
Yeah.
He'd rather help Brandon, his son, also a film director. With
his daughter's directed some stuff as well.
Yeah,
Cassandra.
I don't know her name, but I think she's getting the family business.
I haven't seen anything that she's done.
Yeah.
Pardon.
But then once COVID was in, the lockdown and stuff, instead of getting frustrated, shall we say, he started writing.
Yeah.
And Crimes of the Future was in response to COVID.
Yeah, it was a news, wasn't it? Because he said he started it like in the 70s.
Yeah.
Didn't finish it, just put it away, and then got it back out and started to redo it during COVID.
Well, the original Crimes of the Future, if you want, we can go through this whole filmography.
I'm happy with that. I've got them all here. I brought them all up so we could go through them. So got the arrow release.
Yeah.
Excuse me. Yeah.
But the original Crimes of the Future, let's just say it's controversial.
It is. It's got. We can't say it, but there's essay with a child.
Yes. Yeah.
In the film, and it's kind of how to save the world as well. So it's quite strange. It's a very, very strange ending.
Yeah, it's not the nicest, to be honest with you.
His first films, I think, Stereo, Crimes of the Future, From the Drain and Transfer. For a long time, Stereo was my favorite David Cronenberg film.
Okay.
It was, I would still put it in my top Cronenberg films. But I think it's very literary, and I know he said he wanted to be a writer first. And even though there's hardly any dialogue in the film, but the dialogue that is spoken, or the only sound is the narration, it sounds very literal. The book, it sounds as if it could be read in a book or read in a report, should we say.
I
really love that about Stereo.
Transfer, From the Drain, less clinical than Stereo and Crimes of the Future, 1970.
I think it was, it's the two ideas, isn't it? Like, Transfer is kind of psychoanalysis, which you would go back to in Dangerous Method.
Yeah.
And From the Drains, the more gross out horror side of it, the creature coming from
the drain.
It's more
comedy.
Yeah, comedy more comedy. Yeah. Which is something we should say about the Shrouds. I laughed a few times. I actually, and everybody in the cinema got it. Everybody giggled a few times. And
I didn't.
Did you know? No, I thought there was some really funny moments in it.
I think again, going into spoilers, Guy Pearce's character,
yeah,
which he plays Vincent Castle's brother.
Brothers in grief.
He was a comic relief in a way.
Yeah, well, he had some moments that I really laughed. I really did. Well, he says, what does he say? He says, we're brothers in grief and brothers in something, doesn't he? I can't remember what it was, because the character Guy Pearce kind of screws everybody over in it. Or does he? It's really strange. The storyline's strange. But Vincent Cassel sleeps with his wife's sister. And twin sister. And that's a really interesting element of the film, because Cronenberg talks about genes being passed on to people and how parts of the body are still alive, and how his wife still kind of does have part of his wife's body. And I thought that was a really interesting thing that he said in one of the interviews. He was saying that, we do share things genetically, so why wouldn't I be attracted to somebody who's got part of my wife's body, And I thought it's just, his ideas are always cool. Yeah. Always are, and there's always a basis in science for them somewhere.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, it's all right. I was just saying the Shrouds could be done. The technology in the Shrouds could be done now. If somebody wanted to do that, you could do it,
Yeah, I was just going to say, like, his films are very, as I said in the intro, very divisive.
Yes. I mean, it's technology from the very beginning. I love, I did a review of Rabid some time back on the Boneyard, and I loved the fact that Rabid takes place over telephones. Like, most of the big scenes in the film take place over telephones. So there's a murder scene, but he listens to Rose. Hart listens to Rose being killed over the telephone. He doesn't see her again. He only has a relationship with her over the phone after the crash at the beginning of the film.
That's right.
And that was because Cronenberg said, well, that was the time. He said you have to realize in like 75, whenever it was, that was 77. That was a big deal. The people weren't using rotary phones, and you didn't have to deal with the operator anymore, and stuff like that. And phones were everywhere. Business was being done on phones. It was they were part of everybody's life, and he integrated that into it. And I love that he does that with technology in his films.
I think as well with Rabid, it's like the surgery, the procedure that she goes under to basically, the skin graft, and
yes,
it's a botched operation. We know that.
Yeah, well, it's kind of stem cell therapy before stem cell therapy. Again, I mean, he was on the kind of cutting edge of it. Yeah,
and we know what happens, and no spoilers needed, because it's a 50-year film.
It doesn't feel like it. It really doesn't feel like it.
It's very fresh. So
I mean, out of his two earlier films, Shivers and Rabid, I prefer. I mean, I love them both. I really do love them both, but I prefer Shivers, because it's such an important film in my life. But we'll get into that. I love Shivers. It was my introduction to Cronenberg. I think it's a masterpiece of horror, Shivers. I really do. But Rabid there's just something so cool about it. And the fact that it went so big, and it's a low budget film, but it feels like the world's under attack in Rabid. It really does.
It was this big break in Canada.
Yeah,
I think, and then as Scanners was for the rest of the world, I think.
Yeah, Scanners. I think Scanners and The Fly is still his two biggest hits, aren't they?
Yeah, I would say so. Yeah,
I know that he said he definitely made the most money on The Fly.
Yeah,
but Scanners was kind of what got his name out there, and after Scanners, he was able to get more films made.
Yeah, you could argue that The Fly was with a bigger studio, with Fox.
Oh, it was Fox, yeah, wasn't it? No, The Fly was Fox.
And Videodrome, and
was it Brooks? Was it Mel Brooks who did The Fly?
Yeah, he produced it. Yeah, and the sequel.
And the sequel, which is a good sequel. I quite like.
I actually watched it a few days ago.
That actually, going back to the last episode, we talked about Garris, because he wrote The Fly too, Mick Garris.
That's right. Yeah. I didn't realize that until I was watching it there recently. But I think Videodrome was Universal,
right?
And the Dead Zone was Dino De Laurentiis' company, I think.
Right.
DLG.
Good old Dino De Laurentiis. He makes masterpieces, that guy. Conan the Barbarian, Blue Velvet.
Yeah. Well, that's a future discussion.
It is, yep.
Talking about David Lynch.
Yep.
So stay tuned for that, and like and subscribe and all that jazz. If you haven't already.
But yeah, I mean, I would definitely go go see the Shrouds. If you're a fan, go and see it, but be prepared for there was a couple of times I was shifting around in my seat because it was very long dialogue things.
But be patient with it as well.
Yeah, be patient with it. It's a sad film, but it's also strangely a very happy and positive ending. So it was but it is a very sad film. I could feel my eyes welling up when his wife was, when she was dying. It was sad. It was really sad. And I imagine that's how he felt, about the whole situation.
As I said, it's very autobiographical.
And the music as well. I mean, we'll have to talk about Shaw, because Shaw's music is fantastic. I mean, in Crimes of the Future and in particular, the Shrouds, incredible soundtracks.
Haunting.
Incredible. I've been listening to Crimes of the Future. I never bought the album. It's on Spotify, but when I'm writing reviews and stuff, I actually just sit and listen to it. It's a gorgeous score. It's a very
what I listen to when I'm typing or anything on the computer? I listen to actually Christopher Young.
Oh, Christopher Young's cool.
His Hellraiser score.
Yeah.
I just find it just so quintessential. Like it's classical based.
Yep.
But there's a wee bit of synth in there as well, I think.
It is. I think Christopher Young was about that time.
Yeah.
When
initially Barker wanted a synth score, and then he, Young just said, I've got this. What do you think of this? And that was the intro music, and then the rest is history, as they say.
Yeah.
Adam says, I think Rabbit works so well as it's not a cast of glamorous, chiseled actors. It's ordinary looking, average people, very believable, shocking scenes. I agree.
Yep.
The only exception, Marlon Chambers.
She's glamorous. But she's kind of girl next door, though. I mean, I think that's when Cronenberg talked about her. He said even though she was a porn actress, that she was very much the girl next door, and she was the.
That might have been her appeal for the porn side of things.
She was actually on I think it was a bakery product. She was like the face of a bakery product, I think it was.
Oh, right, okay.
And so she was like the girl next door. She was a house in everybody's house on this bakery product, but she was also a porn. But she was also a porn actress. And he said he thought that was a really good line that she could do that. And I think she's great. I don't know why she didn't do more straight films.
Yeah,
I think Marlon Chambers is fantastic in Rabbit. I really do. I think it's a great role. It really is. And I think what's he called? Joe
Silver.
The guy who plays the doctor.
Yeah,
fantastic actor as well. I wish he'd been Moited too with Cronenberg.
Silver? No, hang on.
He was in so he was in Shivers and Rabbit.
T. Lloyd.
I might be getting mixed up with Joe Blasco, who did the special effects, because I'm always listening to him talk, because the guy who did the special effects on Shivers only did it because Barbara Steele was in the movie and wanted to meet her, and he was actually quite a famous special effects artist.
Yeah, Joel Silver, yeah, that's right.
Joel Silver, he's a great actor, Joel Silver. And I remember I listened to Joe Blasco talk quite a lot because he teaches special effects. So whenever I'm trying to do bits and pieces, I often find videos of him online doing things and just telling you how to mix cheap blood and stuff and how to do scars. But he made the cool little parasites.
Oh,
and so he just put them in a mold, and he got a coat hanger and put the wire through them. And then he tells this great anecdote about everyone was like kind of thinking how we're going to do this thing in the drain. He said, well, I'll just stick it on a coat hanger, put it up through the drain, and then I'll just twist it around and then pull it back in. So simple, but it looks so scary.
Yeah.
but it's just, sorry if I'm ruining the myths, but it's
really.
All he did was stick a coat hanger through, bend the coat hanger, make it look around, and then pull it back down the hole.
On a totally different note, and different note, if you hear any snoring, it's my dog Freya. She's in the hall. So I got the door open, so she's snoring away to her heart's content.
So, but like I say, I mean, going back to the beginning of his earlier work, I love Stereo. I do. I think out of Stereo and Crimes of the Future's definitely got more story elements in it. That would appear in the rest of his work. But I think Stereo was a beautiful looking film, and it's hard to believe that it was an early film because it looks so great.
Yeah, well, his 4 early works were all university student based, and the Stereo and Crimes were set in around the university.
Ah, right, that's what it is. The set. It looks
Yeah.
that makes sense now. You said it with all the brick and the glass windows and stuff in Crimes of the Future.
The Institute for Erotic Inquiry in stereo. Yeah, I think it's kind of the science area at the university. I'm not sure.
It's beautiful. It is. I mean, it's a beautiful looking film. And now that you've said that, it makes sense because he's got all of the scientific equipment in the film. And then that really striking image of the nude girl lying with her hair against the radiology window. I love that image with a bright white light coming from behind her. I still think it's one of his best looking films. I mean, I love Shivers and Rabbit, out of his earlier stuff, but Stereo looks much more cinematic than Shivers or Rabbit does, I think.
You see, out of the two of them, I do prefer Crimes.
Oh,
just because, as you say, it's more story based.
It is much more story based.
It's I want to say faster paced, but they're roughly the same kind of tempo.
Well, I mean, like I say, Stereo is almost a silent film.
Yeah, pretty much.
There's only narration. That's all there is in the movie. The doctor talking about his patients.
Yeah, you can say the same about Crimes, though, because it's Lodzik, Roland Lodzik.
Yeah.
His narration.
Yeah.
Looking for Anton Rouge and so it's like, and then the scene where he licks the boot or the shoe. Yes. He's basically kind of describing his fantasy.
Yeah.
Strange as it is, but as we find out later in the movie, there's reasoning behind it.
Oh, that's one of the things I love about Cronenberg's work. He's got no inhibitions about talking about anything like that. He's not afraid to talk about sensuality or sexuality, or when with that really famous great scene with Lynn Lowry and Shivers. When she says all flesh is erotic flesh, even old flesh is erotic flesh, and it's just amazing. She has that nightmare about all the old people screwing her to death. I love that. I love that speech.
She was really perfectly cast in that.
Oh, Lynn Lowry's one of my heroes, man. Sheroes, I should say. She's amazing. I think she's fantastic, Lynn Lowry. I've got the score.
I saw an interview she did. I think it was on Bravo. They're talking about their 100 greatest films, scares or something. I don't know. Can't remember what it was. But she was talking about Rabbit.
That's great.
Shivers.
No,
and basically said, the quote, and then she said she was given a script. She never heard of David Cronenberg before. She's given a script, and she thought, "Oh, I've only got a few lines, so whatever." But he made the role for her to be a lot more than it is on paper.
All right.
It's like what she does. She brings seduction to the role. The way she says, even old flesh.
Yeah.
It's like, come on, come to me.
Oh, I would. Lynn Lowry's fantastic in that role, I think. And there's a great moment where she does a strip tease for Paul Hampton, who plays the main character. Yeah. And her and Hampton didn't get along. He kept trying to steal our scenes. I love her. I watch all her interviews too. When she talked about Hampton, she was like, when we're doing close-ups, she'd feel him trying to push her face away and get his face closer to the camera. Things like that. So she said, but when she was doing the striptease, she said Paul wasn't actually there, so I was stripping for David Cronenberg. And she said that wasn't a bad thing because Cronenberg was a pretty attractive guy.
He was when he was younger. That's
so she says he still is. He's kept himself really fit.
Oh, Jesus, yeah.
Jesus. But Aisha said she enjoyed stripping for David Cronenberg. Or at least it made it easier. Or at least it made it easier because he wasn't a bad-looking guy.
It's worse for
Shivers is so starting with the beginning. Stereo, I loved Shivers. Shivers was the first one I saw because, as I've said before, in the Boneyard, Night of the Living Dead, George Romero is one of the films that began it all for me. I love that film so much. I saw that, made us fall in love with cinema. Everything in that film shouldn't work, but it does because it's just cinematic magic. It really is.
Yeah.
If you watch that movie, every shot's wrong. When you teach people film grammar, everything's wrong. But because he didn't know what he was doing, eye lines are off. He goes from wide shot to wide shot to wide shot to wide shot. But the editing makes it work. It's perfect. But anyway, I guess that's for another George Romero stream. But I started to get into zombie movies because of it, and then started watching Fulci and all them guys, and somebody I think I read in it might have been was a place called Music Zone was open then. I think this was maybe mid-90s, late 90s. And it was kind of like a cut price record store, but you could buy films, and they had their own magazine. And somebody said, if you like Romero, you'll love Shivers. It's great if you like. And I just fell in love with it straight away. It's still like nothing else. It kind of is zombies, but they're like the creepiest zombies ever.
Yeah, I think what Shivers does well, as opposed to Rabbit, and it's not this one Rabbit.
Yeah,
it's one location. It's the tower block.
Yep.
And focuses on that, and then if the virus, so shall we say, the virals, they get out, we're fucked.
The sex parasites. I love that. That's one of my favorite endings. It's one of my favorite endings in movie history, when they're all those kind of, I don't know what you call them, sex zombies or parasites, or
I think they're called parasites. Yeah.
I mean, the parasite people, I guess, but the way that they're all just smiling and driving out into the city, and then you start to hear the radio reports playing, saying there's been some reported attacks around the city.
There's actually, I think I'm not sure, but I think I read an IMDb trivia. There's a bit that was cut from Rabbit, which I think Hart is worried about.
Rose.
Rose, yes, yeah. He's worried about her because the infection is spreading.
Yeah.
And he rings her up and gets no answer, and then cuts to the scene when he does ring her again, and he gets through to her.
Yeah.
And she's very dismissive, as you know.
Yeah.
So, but he rang initially. I think it was a cut scene or something. Not deleted scene, but cut.
I mean, in both movies, I guess you could see it's an STD that's spreading the.
Yeah.
It's spreading the parasite or the diseases.
Well, yeah, definitely Shivers, but I think Rabbit is botched surgery.
Oh well, it is. Yeah, she gets a growth. She gets a growth.
Arm. Yeah.
A little parasitic vampire in her armpit.
Yeah.
Oh man, I mean, who else would come up with that? What a great idea, I remember him talking about it, and everyone was saying how phallic it looks.
Yeah.
And it does.
HR Giga before HR Giga.
Like when you see it up close, it is. That's exactly what it is. But it was great. I mean, with Shivers, I think he had a conversation with Dan O'Bannon, and Dan O'Bannon had seen it and loved it, and it definitely snuck into the Alien script. I mean, it's called the Starliner, the building.
Right, yeah.
But I think it definitely had an influence on Alien, and it's. I mean, this has been talked about before. It's nothing new, but I'm not the first person to see it. But Cronenberg himself has said he did speak to Dan O'Bannon, or at least heard from somebody that Bannon was a big fan of Shivers, and it definitely crept into the Alien script. Definitely,
I think so too. And then he goes from that, or those two films, onto Fast Company.
Yes, John Saxon.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a great race car movie.
I actually got a copy of it there recently. Well, I say recently, 6 months ago.
I had to buy it. I've got a region 1 of it. I think it's Blue Underground.
All right, I got a Spanish import for me.
Right.
And they sent me 2 copies of it instead of 1. I don't know. Huh?
Well, I mean, what do you think? Because it's.
I haven't watched it yet, to be honest.
All right. With you. I mean, just to mention it, it's probably his straightest film. It's 2 guys in love with the same girl who are racing cars. And for anyone that doesn't know, Cronenberg is a drag racer himself. He loves fast cars. He's done them his whole life. So he said it was kind of a passion of his. So when he was offered the job, he said, "Yeah, great. I'd love to do that." Because I think it's drag racing that he does. But he's a gearhead. He loves his bikes and stuff as well. He's got loads of fast cars. He's got quite a bike and car collection himself. So I guess he was the right guy for the job at the time. And it is a well-directed film. It's kind of just it's like a exploitation romance. I think that's what I would call it, like a 70s exploitation romance, in the same vein as something like Convoy. It's got that kind of feel.
Okay.
It's got that kind of feel to it. But I'm a big Saxon fan, so it was good to see him having a substantial role.
Yeah,
I mean, because usually in the 70s he was second fiddle to somebody else. He was always the bad guy in cowboy movies, or he pops up in Sidney Pollack's movie. With Willie Nelson. I think he's the agent in The Electric Horseman. But I love Saxon. I do. And then of course it's great to see him in stuff like Black Christmas and when he did the horror movies later on. Nightmare on Elm Street. Yep.
Nightmare on Elm Street and stuff. Yeah.
I mean, I won't mention it too much because it's getting a bit off Cronenberg. But there's a great interview with Saxon, which I quoted once, where he talked about horror as being the new westerns. He said, when I was an actor in the 50s and 60s, early 70s, westerns were the B movies. So he said, when horror came along, I had no qualms about moving into horror movies because to me they were just the new westerns. You know, they were the new low budget films that everybody was making. It was westerns. Now it's horror. You know, that's
probably why Argento cast him in Tenebrae movie.
Yeah, well, it's I would think so. I mean, he could speak fluent Italian. John Saxon, so he was in lots of Italian productions like Cannibal Apocalypse and stuff. But which is a great movie. Speaking of zombies, Cannibal Apocalypse is a really good movie. But yeah, Fast Company. It's just an exploitation race car movie, really. But it's good, well filmed. It's got Cronenberg style. It's got that kind of nice locked off camera. He shoots the races really nice. It's not fetishistic about the cars or anything like Tarantino, but he shoots it really well.
I read a review. Somebody said it was basically he was just a job for hire for him.
Aye.
You know, he just didn't. He did it so he could get on to get money or get funding for.
I mean, it kind of is the odd one out because it's the only movie he ever did that hasn't really got any themes of alienation or it's like because a lot of his films I feel are about outsider characters.
Yeah,
and I think alienation's a big theme in his films as well. But it's definitely worth a watch, and definitely for any completist, Fast Company is a well-directed Cronenberg film, 100%.
Cool. I'll watch both copies
at the same time.
I'll skip some parts.
So what was next? The Brood?
The Brood, yeah. The Brood, 1979.
79. It's an excellent movie.
Yeah, it is.
I love Hal Ragland, right? It's The Shape of Rage.
Yeah,
that's the book. Oliver Reed's so cool in that.
He's so sadistic though as well.
Oh, I love him in it. I love him in that big jacket at the end when he goes in to kind of save the day, and they all attack him, all the children. It's like, it's great. But Oliver Reed at the time, it was I was a big Oliver Reed fan because he I mean, in this like Hannibal and things, I'd seen him play a lot of heroes. And I remember it was quite shocking to see him die in the movie because I mean,
for me, like I'd seen him. My dad was a huge fan of The Who.
Yep.
And I'd seen him in Tommy.
Yep.
Because Dad had the video of it.
Ken Russell.
When we got the video player, that was the one thing he bought.
I love Ken Russell. I think he's one of the best of British. I think he's one of the best directors Britain ever had.
And he was smarmy in that. And then when I saw him in The Brood, I thought it's the same character almost.
Yeah. Well, Oliver Reed's for me same category as someone like Peter O'Toole, Sean Connery.
Yeah.
He's just got a kind of X factor, but he is always just Oliver Reed. I don't think he was. He's a star. He's not an actor. He's a star. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And
I think The Devils when he did that with Russell.
Yeah, it's a great film. Yeah.
It was. I just thought, this guy is good.
The beautiful sets by Derek Jarman did the sets for it, didn't he?
Did he? Oh, I didn't know that.
The sets are beautiful in that film. The big white bricks and it's incredible.
Okay, did not know that. Oh, yeah.
I'm pretty sure it was Derek Jarman who did the sets for it.
Cool. But so you got Oliver Reed, playing the psychiatrist from hell.
Yep.
Basically, wants to drive people, their anger, but
he wants people to externalize their rage.
Yeah.
He wants them to literally like torture their rage out of themselves.
And I think The Brood is up to that point his most special effect heavy movie.
Yeah, it is. It's the special effects.
It's disgusting.
Yeah, they're freaky, aren't they? That's freaky.
The kids, and then
and they've all got that weird hair lip. The kids.
Yeah, and
so so it looks like the skull has been pushed together, like
and the blonde hair.
Right.
And then when you see them walking in the snow, different colored jackets and
when they're walking down the road hand in hand, that's like
that's scary.
Makes
kind of like Damned.
I thought it was like The Shining. I was just going to say, I'm sure Kubrick might have saw that and thought, that's a good idea. Because when walking down the road, the twins or the kids, it looks really scary when they're just walking hand in hand in those snowsuits.
Yeah.
But it was, I mean, Cronenberg said it was his twisted version of Kramer versus Kramer because he was going through a divorce when he made the film. Yeah.
That's right.
So the film's kind of about the nastiness of divorce and how somebody you love can just turn into somebody you don't even recognize anymore when when you're in a different kind of relationship, but you still have to have that relationship because you've got kids and stuff, and and it was it is a great film. I think that's
globules, shall we call them?
Yeah.
I can't even think of her name now.
Samantha Agar.
Yes, I think that's her. Just going to double check.
And the other guy is in Black Christmas too, thinking of it. The husband who's in Invasion of the Body Snatchers, a famous Canadian actor.
Yeah.
The guy wears the fur coat. He wears that beautiful fur coat in The Brood.
Michael McGee.
Is that him, Michael McGee?
I think so.
He was also in Black Christmas, and but he's a really good actor, and he's got.
No, it wasn't him. No,
I can't remember his name either. But he's always great in interviews. He's a really nice guy, and seeing him at that time, I was really getting into horror, and he seemed to pop up a lot.
Right, it's actually Art Hindle.
Art Hindle, that's the one.
Yeah,
yes, Art Hindle. Yes, that's the one. But yeah, he's a real fun actor.
Yeah, it's Samantha Egger. Yeah.
Yep, Samantha Egger. Well,
she's on her body at the end. Oh God!
The little egg sacs.
Yeah.
She literally licks her baby to life. That's a great scene. That is a great scene.
Mm-hmm.
But I love it. I mean, it creeped me out, that film, especially with Oliver Reed when he's creeping through the room, kind of like the birds when he's trying to walk through the room silently, and then they all just dive on him and it's rip him to shreds. That was a freaky film. I think it scared us the most probably out of his earlier films.
Yeah, I think so too.
I think The Brood was the scariest one, and it is a very spooky film. You've got that beautiful music. Was that Howard Shore? Was Howard Shore there that early? I think he was, right? I'm pretty sure it was Howard Shore doing the score. I think that was the first one they did together, The Brood.
Yeah, it was. Yeah,
that's
right.
But they grew up together. I found that out watching the Shrouds.
Oh, right.
Stuff through they grew up just down the street from each other. Him and Howard Shore.
Very good.
So they kind of worked together their whole lives. Or their whole careers, I should say.
That's mad. I never knew that.
It's weird that he can go away and do something like Lord of the Rings. But yet his Cronenberg scores are so much scarier and deeper and moodier, and it just goes to show you the amount of talent that Howard Shore's got to be able to turn his hand to anything. Because I mean, pretty much Lord of the Rings is all strings and orchestras, and
it's more orchestral, yeah.
But I mean, it's stuff with Cronenberg, like the Crash soundtrack, that awesome guitar. It's just perfect for it. He gives in Crash, he gives the guitar this like really metallic twang in the opening titles, and it sounds like metal. He makes the guitar sound really metal. It's a great sound, not like metal music, but like it sounds metallic. It's a great score. But I really like Crimes of the Future. I think Crimes of the Future is his best score for Cronenberg. I really love that score a lot. And The Fly is so bombastic. I love the opening music for The Fly.
Yeah. So then we go on to Scanners.
Scanners, yeah.
Yeah, his big break, as I said earlier, I think, to get outside Canada,
I mean, I don't know a lot about the production apart from what I saw. I bought a Blu-ray of it not long ago, which I've got here somewhere, which was... there was some special feature on it. This was a second sight release.
Okay.
Artwork's fantastic, isn't it? It's a beautiful poster. But there's a great interview with him on here. And he talks about the fact that it was a pain in the backside to make because it had to go into production within like 2 weeks. They said, "What have you got? We've got to go into production now. Because we've got the money now. We'll have to do it before the end of the year because it was a tax shelter money that was making all of his earlier films. It was the great government subsidies that were making the films. And of course, there's that famous line from Rabid or Shivers, the famous review. Oh, it was Rabid, sorry. It was a famous review of Rabid. Somebody who liked Shivers reviewed Rabid and said, "This movie's terrible, but you should see it because you paid for it."
That's right, yes. I remember that.
Speaking to the public, and there was a bit of an outrage, and he found it harder to make films for the next 2 or 3 years. So that's probably why he jumped on Fast Company when he got the offer.
Yeah.
Because he said he found it hard to make movies for a couple of years just because of that article. But Scanners, they all made people a lot of money back, though. So they were making money for the taxpayer. But obviously he hadn't said that in the article.
No.
But yes, Scanners was made at the tax shelter, and what little I know about it is that it got made it had to be made fast, and he said he was writing the pages the night before they were shooting.
Yeah, I read that too.
Yeah, before they were shooting the scenes, and there's lots of car crashes in that, lots of special effects. So he said it was a real hard job to get that film done and get it made.
Well, the iconic scene with the head exploding.
Oh yeah, man, that's a great the head exploding.
I read or saw somebody dissect it, and then they cut to, I think, Cronenberg himself talking about how they made the head and all that. It was a watermelon.
All right.
And it was slowed down.
Oh.
And then that sped up the footage.
All right.
To make it pop, basically.
I mean, it's a great special effect, but the sound is builds up to the whoop, bang, and then you get the bang. But that sound really works for it. It's like a really high pitch.
Yeah, I think it's because it's emphasizing, this person is using their head, their power and their mind to.
Oh, it's spooky. You really feel it, don't you? I mean, that's in a lot of it. A lot of his work's very visceral, but you really feel that, like the pain in the guy when he starts to shake and his hands start to shake at the sides of his head, and it's a beautifully edited scene, that. And I think it was just a shotgun, right? Somebody just shot the head with a shotgun.
Yeah. And as I said, slow down and sped up.
I think he said in the interview they built a platform, sat somebody up on the platform, raised the camera up high, and then somebody was standing behind the platform with a shotgun at the base of the watermelon, I guess, and then it was just a shotgun blast, similar to what Tom Savini had done, I guess, in Maniac, because he did the same for that great head explosion in Maniac. Tom Savini blew his own head up. Actually, he was the actor but he said he did the same thing, just shot it with a shotgun because he had a gun license. So he just said, I just did it with a shotgun.
Is that Maniac Cop? Was it?
No, Maniac, the one with Joe Spinell. Same director though, William Lustig. The same guy made both films. But it's a great scene, that, and that Michael Ironside's evil.
Evil with a capital evil.
Evil. Yes, he's evil in that movie. What a name as well. I love the way Patrick McGowan says it when he says Daryl Revok. Like when he says his name. Apparently, sorry.
No, go ahead. It's okay.
Apparently, he was a bit of a pain in the neck to work with as well. Patrick McGowan, who's an actor I've always admired. I love his performance in Braveheart. I grew up watching Columbo, and he directed a few episodes. He's always in Columbo. I love Patrick McGowan, The Prisoner. He's kind of a British institution, I guess, because he was always on British TV screens. But Cronenberg said in that interview on the DVD and the Blu-ray that he was very he didn't have any self-confidence, and he was drinking very heavily. And he kept saying to Cronenberg, am I doing what you want? And Cronenberg was like, yes, I cast you in the film because I want you to be you. Do you know what I mean? And but he said he was very difficult to work with, and he needed reassuring all the time about his performance and stuff. And I mean, it's a director's job to do this, though, and it's understandable. If you're an actor of his caliber, I think no matter how you get the performance, he always delivers. I mean, to me, he's not like Connery or Reed. I think McGowan's an actor, I mean, I think he's a fantastic actor, McGowan. And he just needed reassuring all the time. So he said it was a little bit difficult because it was like I was having to give him more attention than anybody else on set, because I've got a million things to do as a director, and I cast the actor to act and do their job. And he's very good. He's very good at that. He always says casting's 80% of a director's job, because he says when you cast the right person, that's 80% of your job's done there. You can concentrate on the special effects and directing the crew. If you cast the right person, work with them well, you'll nail it. He always says that about filmmaking. Casting the right person is 80%.
Yeah, I was going to say, I think Scanners as well is a source of commentary.
Yeah,
as you said earlier about, it's a lot of his work would be focused on, the outside of society.
Yeah, definitely outside of society. Institutions that are on the edge of things.
Yeah.
He talks about institutions.
Scanners, the opening scene when he's in the cafeteria.
Yeah.
In the shopping center.
Yeah.
And he's, the women are looking at him.
Yep.
And he can feel, he can't mind read them, but he can feel that there's thinking about him.
Yeah.
And it's that alienation, I think, which brings Scanners to the fore, because for me, Revok, Michael Ironside's character, is, he wants a utopia.
Yeah, he wants a utopia of Scanners, doesn't he?
Yeah, and Patrick McGowan's character, the Doctor.
Yep.
Just wants to kind of make it one or two people, but harness their power for not good, shall we say. But
well, it's almost like CIA. It's like they're a hidden organization.
Yeah.
And I always looked at that as being kind of like a shady government thing, like the CIA or like the shop, or like what Stephen King talks about in his books is always like a secret. There's a society within a society, so the Scanners are a society inside of society,
Yeah.
And but yeah, it's always about that. I mean, McGowan's character, you're not sure whether he's good or bad.
No.
I mean, it's like you can tell he cares for him, but is he doing it because he wants him to be a weapon?
I think that's what it is.
Yeah, I think so too. I think it's more on that side.
Yeah, Revok, he'd be more, as I said, utopia, but so Scanners can live within society.
And what a creepy scene that is when when Michael Ironside's being interviewed and he watches the black and white tape of him, and he tries to drill inside of his own.
Yes, he tries his forehead. Yeah,
he tries to drill like with a Black and Decker into his own head. Oh man, that scene was creepy. It was creepy, and he takes off the scab, and he's got the third eye drawn on his third eye drawn on his bandage, and he takes the bandage off. He's got that drill hole in his head. That creeped me out. That scene, and it's got that weird sound. He slows it down, so it's so the sound's creepier. Like when you hear inside the Scanners' heads, it's got that creepy, slowed down sound. So everything sounds a little bit like that. It's like it's a great sound, creepy sound.
I think what scene disturbed me was at the very end.
Yeah.
When Revok gets into his head.
Yep.
And it's like you don't know who if
with the eyeball pop.
He's dead, or is he? What's happening here? What's.
Well, it's good going back to his original movie transfer, isn't it? It's literally it's literally a transfer. He transfers inside of Daryl Revok's body.
Yeah.
Stephen Lack's performance is great in it, I think. And I know that Stephen Lack's a famous artist, so he wasn't an actor. But I thought he was perfect for that role in Scanners, because I think it was maybe because he wasn't an actor. He seems really uptight and like removed, and it really worked for the role.
I think it was more natural.
Yeah,
because of that.
Yeah, I think it's great.
It wasn't really forced or it was like I'm no professional, but I can do this intensity or do this. Sorry, excuse me, casually.
He has a beautiful voice as well, Stephen Lack. He's got a very deep, kind of soulful sounding voice. And
soulful.
But I mean, that special effects extravaganza at the end is really great. I mean, that's you see that still image a lot with the guy with the eyes, Stephen Lack with his eyes popped out and holding out his palms, and his palms are on fire. It was a great effect, that. And the end of it still stands up. I mean, talking about the effects in this films, they all still stand up.
Oh yeah.
I mean, Shivers still stands up, even though it's rubber parasites in with wire through them. That I still think they work for the movie. That. Well,
it's all practical, isn't it? It's like Savini's wet dream almost.
It is. Well, speaking of that, have you heard? I won't stay on it too long. Day of the Dead. They found the negative of Day of the Dead.
Okay.
So they're going to do a 4K release of it.
Jesus.
And Day of the Dead's one of my all-time favorites. So that's some great news. That I can't remember who's going to release it, but they're doing a 4K release of Day of the Dead, which I'm really looking forward to.
Spoilers to everybody in the chat. We're going to be talking about Day of the Dead later in the year.
Later in the year. 40 years old this year, Day of the Dead.
Yeah, that's right.
All right. It's crazy. But like Day of the Dead, Cronenberg's films, all the special effects still stand up, I think. They all do. I mean, even in Rabid, you'd think that special effect might look a bit hokey. You know, the parasite, either armpit, the parasite in their armpit, the vampiric parasite, but it still looks great, I think. I mean, when you see the close-up of it and it's kind of lit from behind and it's see-through and you can see the blood pumping through it. I mean, they're done very simply, but they look fantastic. And I think that's something that he's taken care with throughout his career. I think like he really cares or seems to care about the special effects. Nothing's rushed. They always look great. Yeah. He always figured out the best way to shoot the special effects. You know, he always makes them work. And I think that's kind of what makes him in those earlier films, Shivers, Rabid, Stereo, Crimes of the Future, and The Brood, I guess, to an extent, it elevates them because he takes such care with them. And Cronenberg really was one of the first filmmakers to treat these kind of B-movie stories, you know? I mean, Shivers could have easily been a Roger Corman movie from the 50s, you know? But done in the Corman way, you know, cheap, fast, blasted out.
Yeah.
But he treats these ideas and these creature features with respect. And I think that's part of the key of what makes Cronenberg a master, is that he really cares about these ideas that he has. And he really makes them work.
I was going to say, we segue into talking about special effects. We have to mention Videodrome.
Yes,
special effects as well.
Was that the next film after the Brood? So we got the Brood scanners, and then was Videodrome next?
Yeah.
So what year? What year is that? 80? Early 80s? 83.
So for me, Videodrome is one of my favorites of all time.
It's amazing that he got the cast. I mean, Deborah Harry. Yeah, I mean, one of the pretty hottest stars in New York, or if not the world, even.
Oh, the world, definitely.
Yeah, at the time. I mean, she's fantastic in this film.
Yeah. And like, you don't forget James Woods and.
Well, like I was saying, he caught James Woods. He caught James Woods just on the cusp, didn't he? James Woods becoming James Woods, and I mean, he brings a real kind of harshness to that Max Wren character.
Yeah.
And at the beginning,
you know, and smarminess, I think, as well.
Yeah, definitely. Maybe, that's a better word. Smarminess.
You know,
it was like tailor made for someone like James Woods.
Yeah, it's kind of like the worst TV executive, and he's even smarmy to somebody's trying to help him. You know, when at the beginning, you know, they're trying to jack the signal or hijack the signal.
The seediest.
Yeah.
The seediest TV.
And, I just think it's the perfect movie.
It is. It's
Cronenberg, you know.
I mean, it's like I say, the special effect, considering that it's television sets, and it's video cassettes. I think even a young film fan, you know, getting into it like we did at teenage years, I guess. I think they'd still love it and enjoy it. I mean, I think it's stood the test of time, even though it's a film about. You know, I guess it's about emerging technologies at the time, because, you know, those ideas were emerging. I remember him talking about it, and he said that he used to TV exec's mom. Yes,
that's like that, yeah.
But Cronenberg said he used to sneak down and watch the telly, and you could kind of tune the television and get, I guess it was American stations.
Yeah.
And but you could never see them. It was always like through the snow. You know, the television, snow, the static. And he said that's kind of where the image came from, you know, of the television set, because they always felt a little bit explicit and you weren't quite sure what they were, but they seemed more explicit, which is similar to what we talked about in the last cast, where I talked about VHS. And I said sometimes I still like to watch the old VHS tapes because they do feel more explicit somehow, or they do feel more forbidden somehow, you know, and when you've got to kind of fill in the gaps yourself.
Yeah, I would tend to agree, but maybe not VHS for me.
No,
maybe like DVD.
Oh,
like, you know, if you get movies like from, we'll say it's the 70s, 80s time.
Yep.
With a few exceptions for me, but if you see something like Ghostbusters, for example. It's a DVD is 480p to 720, more likely 480p, unless for an older movie.
Yeah,
it's like watching a VHS.
Yeah,
because it's not HD quality.
Well, I mean, some DVDs were just rips from VHS.
Yeah,
I mean, I've still got a lot of the first gen DVDs that were just literally rips from movies, from VHS movies. I mean, some of them were pan and scan. Can you remember the Vipco? The first Vipco DVD releases?
They were definitely pan and scan, yeah.
I mean, a lot of them were just pan and scan VHS cuts, I think.
Well, I picked up earlier today. I picked up Contact.
There's Zemeckis.
Robert Zemeckis and Matthew McConaughey and Jodie Foster.
I love it. That's a great. I'm a huge Carl Sagan fan, like huge.
I picked that up on Blu-ray,
and he wrote the
because
book.
It was one of the first DVDs I bought back in the 90s.
I think it might be one of the last videos I bought on video. I remember buying Sleepy Hollow. I think was one of the last VHSs I ever bought, and that was kind of when the shift just happened. And I think Sleepy Hollow was the last one I bought on VHS. I remember them trying to like upscale them, like putting Titanic into a blue slimline box and stuff.
Oh, right.
Because they were trying to sell the VHSs still. It was. I've got a fondness for them, but that's what I kind of love about Videodrome. I love that static of it, and it's about the illicitness of images. I think.
Yes. Yeah.
Some images feel forbidden.
Yeah,
it's forbidden.
When they're whipping Debbie.
Right. Yeah. Awesome.
And he's like, Max is like, okay.
All right.
Is this not when he's sorry? I'll rephrase that a wee bit.
All right.
When he sees the whipping of the girl at the start, near the beginning, and he gets turned on by it.
Well, when he says he thinks the wall's electrified.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, and then he's getting into like, I must find the signal, and I must get it for the network, and and then when Debbie Harry says she's going on the show, like he tries not to convince her because it wouldn't be right for her. That's because he doesn't want to see her that way.
Yeah, that's interesting. That's really interesting. Yeah, it is. It's like, I mean, it's again, I guess that's talking about perversions as well.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Like coming back to it. I mean, he did a lot of that. Forbidden. No, that's an interesting point. But I know what Perry means about the static radios. Sound really freaks me out a lot more than images. I don't know why, but it just does. The sound of stuff, like when I was talking about the slowed down voices of the scanners, sound really creeps me out. And especially that slow, sludgy sound, it really creeps me out. And I know what you mean about the CB radio sound. I love listening to, I still do. I've actually written a few radio plays to try and get them produced recently, but I haven't had any luck yet, but fingers crossed. And I love listening to old radio plays, especially old horror radio plays, because they've got that cool kind of old CB, rickety sound. There's a great zombie one from the 80s, which is about a zombie apocalypse. I wish I could remember the name. I'll dig it up and stick it in the comments. But it was, I love those kind of plays, like Pontypool. Is, I think, fantastic. I'm planning on doing a video for the Boneyard just about horror movies set in radio stations, or movies set in radio stations, because I love it. It's like, I think it's my favorite subgenre. There's a great one with Cash, 10 Past Midnight, from Texas Chainsaw Massacre, Caroline Williams. She plays this radio DJ similar to Stretch in Chainsaw. But she gets attacked by vampires in this radio station at night. I just love it. I love something I've always loved and I've found spooky about sound and radio stations. I guess that's one of my weird weird things that I like. But it's like a subgenre I just love. I really love it, especially Pontypool. I think Pontypool's one of the most underrated horror movies ever made. It's got a big cult following. I actually tried to reach out to Tony Burgess, the writer. He's great. I love he's done so many great horrors. He did a great comedy horror called The Horde, which is about, like, he's doing a TV show about hoarders, like a reality TV show.
Yeah.
And one of the houses, like, there's a demon upstairs when they go in to film. It's a comedy horror, but he's in it as well. It's fantastic. So if anybody likes comedy horror, check out Tony Burgess stuff. But Pontypool, straight horror, but it's a magnificent film. Pontypool.
Have you heard of Dark Signal?
Yes.
Yeah, I was just going to look up there. If you know Torchwood.
Yes, Torchwood. Yeah.
The guy from he played Ianto. He's in that.
Ah, cool.
So that's what I was looking up there to see, because I couldn't remember the name of it, but I knew the actor.
Do you know what it is? I don't think I've seen it, but I do know it because I recognize the title now when you said it. But I'll check that one out. It's just, like I say, it's one of my favorite subgenres.
Yeah,
it's,
you'll enjoy it. It is a good horror.
Dark Signal 2016 from British supernatural horror, directed by Edward Evers Swindle, stars Siwan Morris, Gareth David Lloyd, and Joanna Isaac Zenua. Ignis Ekiwa, I think. Yeah, cool. I'll check that one out.
Yeah. You'll enjoy it, I think. So
fantastic. I'll grab that after the show.
Cool. So, Videodrome. Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah, Videodrome,
yeah. Falling over the shop now.
But yeah, James Woods was perfect. Deborah Harry's perfect. I really like the guy who's in the Dead Zone as well, the Canadian actor who plays the King of the Pirates. He pops up in the Dead Zone as the reporter. The one who Johnny Smith really freaks out and tells him about his sister. Yeah, but he's a really good actor in that. But Woods and Deborah Harry have just got a really good chemistry.
Anthony
Zerbe? No, but he's fantastic, and he plays the father, Anthony Zerbe. It's the guy with dark hair. He plays the reporter in Dead Zone. But he plays Max Wren's technician in Video.
Oh, yes.
Guy with the curly hair and the glasses.
Yes, I know who you mean now. Yeah.
But like I say, I think it hasn't aged, and you think a film like that would. And it's magnificent. I love that ending, that really creepy downer ending when he goes to the ship at the docks.
Yeah.
And it's something I love right from Rabid, is that Cronenberg works so well with textures. He really gets these beautiful textures, you know? And like the way that he starts his films now since Dead Ringers on, where he's had these beautiful opening scenes.
Yeah.
He's always had a beautiful 3-minute, opening where you can sit back.
He did it in the Dead Zone.
Dead Zone, yeah, the Dead Zone, where the letters appear.
Yes, yeah.
And that was it Michael Kamen who did the music for Dead Zone?
Yeah,
Michael Kamen, yeah. And so that wasn't sure, but it was Kamen, and that's a beautiful score.
Yes,
it is very, very like lonely, isolated score. It's like I remember the strings feeling really lonely in the score.
Yeah, it's about alienation and outsider, and because John Smith feels, getting on to Dead Zone now.
Yeah,
he does feel alone because his father's still alive, but he's lost his girlfriend while he was in the coma. Yeah. He's lost his job. And then when he gets a job teaching the young fella, and his father the young fella's father doesn't believe him when he says about the hockey.
It's one of my favorite. Go on, say it.
He's feeling, then when he was reacquainted with his wife, or his girlfriend, his ex-girlfriend.
That's
when he's campaigning for Stilson.
Yeah, I know. When they finally finally have sex, don't
they? Before that, they hook up.
That was quite a sad scene.
Yeah,
I know it's a happy scene, and I love it how the dad knows when he comes in and kind of smiles at him as if to say, "Go on, son." Like when he comes in.
You waited 6 years first.
But his dad totally gets what's just happened, doesn't he? That's a great
Canadians, they're alert.
But it was the Dead Zone, and so Dead Zone came after Videodrome?
Yeah, it did. Yeah, same year, but I think it's only maybe 3 months after.
About 3 months after. That's really quick.
Yeah.
But it was. I'm not like yourself. I don't think Videodrome was one of my favorites.
Right.
But I think I don't think it would be in my top 5 now. But because I really love his modern films, I think he just gets better and better and better. Shivers would be my number 1. It would if we were doing a score. If we were doing a top 5 Cronenberg, Shivers would be my number 1. I really do think it's that great of a film. I would put it in. If I'm not being too liberal, I would say maybe it's my top 10 movies of all time, or at least top 10 most watched. I still watch Shivers more than any of his other films. That's
fair.
I love it. It brings back memories of being a kid, getting into movies. But Shivers was just important to us because it kind of taught me that you could be different. Because it's a very different film. It's full of very different ideas, and it was just seeing it at that young age. It was one of those films that had a big impact on me for that, because I thought, you can be that weird if you want to be.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And it was so it means a lot to me personally, Shivers, and I think that's why it would be number one for me.
Yeah, when you say that, there for me, getting off topic slightly, David Lynch would have been that for me.
Aye.
But that's another spoiler. We'll be talking about David Lynch in the future.
David Lynch in the future.
Yeah. But yeah, I was looking up there. Dead Zone came in October 1983.
83.
Videodrome was February 83, so 8 months.
Oh, that's a really quick turnaround. 2 movies in 16 months. Yeah. That's great. That's really fast work. I mean, Videodrome must have been a success for him then, was it? If he got the Dead Zone after it.
Well, I think they were kind of at the same time. Commissioned at the same time. So
because at the time, Stephen King movies must have been. I mean, The Shining had come out in the 80s, so
yeah,
Stephen King must have been really hot property at the time.
Well, we know about Carrie, and then Salem's Lot, the TV.
Yeah, it was Carrie, Salem's Lot, and The Shining were like the three kind of boom. The three released that made everybody love Stephen King movies. So 83,
the book would have been. Well, Night Shift came out in 79, so.
But people must have liked Videodrome a lot for him to get a Dino De Laurentiis movie who dealt with pretty big budgets. I mean, he always did, but I know that he wasn't exactly a major studio, but his films like Conan and stuff always looked great. You know, he always gave them decent budgets to work with. I know he was a bit of a control freak, apparently, Dino De Laurentiis, but.
I heard that too, yeah.
But I really do like his films, and his studio was a celebrated studio. He did have a huge studio in Rome, didn't he? That was a celebrated studio. But I mean, De Laurentiis, he could shoot or pick him. He made a few flops, but when he did it right, he did it right.
I think, you see, again, we're getting sidetracked with Lynch, but I think when he made Blue Velvet with De Laurentiis, he was it was kind of a consolation prize. Yeah. Because when he made Dune or June, however you want to pronounce it. Yeah. Laurentiis fucked him over. Yeah. Because he made such he condensed the film into, the book into one film. Yeah. And, we know from Denis Villeneuve, he did 2 films, but that's beside the point. He didn't get the final say. Yeah, Lynch, I guess we'll talk about that when we talk about Lynch, but I know that to put a lid on it, he kind of said, I don't hate Dune, that there's parts of it I like, but he never talks about it. No. You can tell he was very sore about it. He was asked many times in interviews, would you ever go back to it? And he says no. No, I think it was a real director's cut or whatever. I think it was a real sore point in his life. Yeah. He was hurt because he'd made The Elephant Man before that. Yeah, went total creative control as well. Yeah, and then the Laurentiis cuts Dune to pieces. It's interesting that it was Mel Brooks, who did The Fly with Cronenberg, and he also did Elephant Man with Lynch. That's right, yeah. And you wouldn't think someone known for his comedies, Spaceballs and Blazing Saddles would be that interested in, promoting someone as new as Lynch at the time. Well, I have his autobiography, and he talks about meeting Lynch, basically after he's seen Eraserhead and he met Lynch, he wanted to meet Lynch, and he says, I want you to make this movie for me and do whatever style you want. Total creative control, as you said. Yeah. And he made the most beautiful looking movie. It is. It's incredible. I don't know. I remember Brooks talking about it, and I remember Brooks Lynch saying, that Brooks just said, I've seen Eraserhead. He put his arms around him and kissed him and said, you beautiful madman. Yeah. That's what he said. You beautiful madman. I think as well, you see, he didn't want, his name to be on the marquee, so to speak. Yep. And, he put, oh, geez, I can't think of her name now. Rafaela, his daughter? No. Mel Brooks' wife at the time.
I'm not sure.
I'm trying to think. She was in Elephant Man. I don't want to look it up because I'm lazy. But
it's are you trying to seduce me? It's
yeah, Mrs. Robinson. Yeah,
Mrs. Robinson. What's her name?
Anne Bancroft.
Anne Bancroft. Yeah, Anne Bancroft.
Yeah, basically.
That's funny. Are you trying to seduce me? Anne Bancroft.
Dang, it almost worked.
That's interesting what Perry said. I think you might be right, Perry. There's something about it. Like, I do like those liminal space movies. I've been watching loads of them on YouTube. I find them quite relaxing. So maybe you're onto something there, mate. I think you might have nailed it. Maybe that's why I like them. I never thought of it like that.
There you go.
A very normal bright space that goes into a different mode at certain times seems to be waiting for something to happen. That makes a lot of sense. I think you might have nailed that. I think that probably is why I like them. That's cool.
Well, some people do find that therapeutic as well.
Yeah, I do. I think I find it therapeutic. Well, it's interesting to come to therapy because one of the things I wanted to talk about was watching all the press for the Shrouds. Cronenberg said that he doesn't believe films are cathartic. Have I mentioned this already? I don't think I have.
Before we went live, yeah.
Yeah, so before I went live. But he said, because Paul Schrader is possibly my favorite filmmaker, I think. And or at least I love his movies more than anybody else's. And I wrote about Paul Schrader when I did my degree. My final dissertation paper was on catharsis through screenwriting, about Schrader, so in a nutshell, Schrader, the character of Travis Bickle, pretty much is Paul Schrader in Taxi Driver. It is him. He gave him his boots, he gave him his jacket, he gave him his jeans. Paul Schrader was sleeping in his car. When he was writing it, he felt suicidal, and he said it was like therapy. It was like my way of getting everything out onto the page. So Travis Bickle was kind of a weird, twisted version of Schrader, and he comes from where Schrader comes from. The first paragraph of the screenplay is, he's a guy that's walked in from someplace cold. Schrader's from Grand Rapids in Michigan, this snowy town. And so I wrote a lot about catharsis in cinema when I was a student, catharsis in screenwriting. I wrote about Dennis Potter as well, the British playwright and television writer. And I believe his work is a lot of catharsis through writing and through screen. But so I've always kind of looked at cinema with that kind of eye because I studied Schrader. But obviously, your mind can be blown at any time. And Cronenberg kind of blew my mind in this stuff with the Shrouds. I was listening to him talk about it. And I was thinking, I guess this is probably cathartic, for him, making this about his wife. And then he turned around to an interviewer and just said, there's nothing cathartic about this at all. He said, I'm sad then. I'm sad when she died. I'm sad now. I'm going to be sad in the future. I'm not working my way through anything. Like he said, that's that psychiatrist. I am suffering and I will be suffering. I don't believe that there's anything catharsis about cinema. And I was kind of like, wow, you learn something new every day. So now next time I go back and watch his stuff, I'm going to watch it with a fresh eye and have a better understanding of it. And that's what I love about movies, man, so much. I'm going to be able to learn something new, look over his catalog again, which I don't mind doing. I watch Cronenberg movies constantly. So I'll be watching them again. I'll be going back and watching them, but I'll have this fresh eye on it now. And I mean, how cool is that? That's... And so I really wanted to mention it because it's blown my little mind a little bit, because I've always looked at cinema with this cathartic idea in mind because I wrote about it and studied Schrader. And he actually said he had dinner with Schrader, and Schrader had said something about it, and he went, I totally disagree with you there, Paul. But so, I mean, these two people I admire so much in Schrader and Cronenberg, that's the wonderful thing about movies. These two filmmakers who I love, but completely different. They've got completely different ways of looking at the world. Yeah. But I love that fact.
Cynical and one's not so cynical, but sees the world as kind of a clinic.
Yep. I mean, it was it's just beautiful. I think that I'm gonna have a new way of watching his films now.
Yeah.
And you learn something new every day. You never stop learning, and that's what I love about movies. That's why I love doing the channel on the Boneyard and talking about them. Why I love talking to you about movies and our friends, because you can learn something new every day. You really can, and that's great. I'll watch them with a fresh eye next time I watch them.
Like for me, it's the same in a way. For me, my taste is so obscure. Like I like classic cinema. I like gory cinema. I like Oh, I don't know, but I like modern stuff.
Yeah.
But my wife, she's very much into more modern stuff, and she finds some things I watch boring. And so if I want to watch something, like I watched The Fly 2 there on Monday. She was gaming on her computer, and I was like, okay, we'll watch this. And it was an hour and a half, whatever, like it is. And I just like sat back and like, okay, this is good. And then you see the creature effects in that, and Chris Wallace's creature effects.
Yeah.
It blew me away. It's all practical.
Yeah.
No CGI at all.
Yeah.
And the story still grips me after all this time.
Well,
and you learn something new, and you see a different point.
Yeah. It's magic. There's something just really beautiful about it.
You see when he enters the password at the end.
Yeah.
To get operate the teleports.
Yeah.
Telepods.
Yeah.
It's like Dad is the password.
Yeah.
And that goes back to the beginning, because he saw Bartok as his dad, because he didn't know his dad at the time.
Yeah.
It's a sad movie, but it does for me. Like, certain films do give me catharsis.
Well, same here. Same here. I mean, I'll never, because Cronenberg says that they're not cathartic doesn't mean they can't be cathartic for me. I mean, no, exactly. Shivers really was. It was a moment that changed my life.
Yeah.
Seeing Shivers, it did. I thought, like I say, it almost gave me permission to be who I wanted to be, but I wasn't quite being, because I was trying to fit into society.
Yeah.
I had the same haircut. I was wearing the same clothes, listening to the same music as all my friends and my peers, and then seeing something like Shivers was just like, I can be whoever I want to be. This beautiful madman, to coin a phrase there from Brooks.
Yeah.
About somebody else, but to coin a phrase from Brooks, he's a beautiful madman that he did that for me. So I did find something cathartic about Shivers. I really did. And it's
I was just going to say, what I actually found cathartic.
Oh, yeah.
I was going through a really bad period of depression about 20 years ago, and I've made friends with a guy called Damien, and I was living in the city center where I was living, in the city I was living in, and he lived about 5 minutes walk away from me.
Right.
And every Friday night, I'd go over to his flat, or he'd come over to mine, and we'd watch Doctor Who, we'd watch other things, classic Doctor Who and all that.
Yeah.
But one night we came over to mine and we watched Knight Rider.
Yep.
David Hasselhoff, Knight Rider, and
it's funny you mentioned that. I was just watching the remastered episodes the other day.
We just tore it apart.
Oh.
And he came over at 8:30, and he didn't leave till 7:30 the next morning. And we were drunk out of our heads, but I was coming around from my depression because of him.
Yeah, it's magic when it does that for you. It really is.
He made me laugh. He made me enjoy things again.
Yeah.
And that's what I get from certain movies as well. An enjoyment, because I can appreciate the set pieces, like Akira Kurosawa.
Yep.
His samurai movies and his other more contemporary films.
I think Seven Samurai was one of the first foreign language films I ever saw.
Yeah, same.
A movie that wasn't in English.
And then things like that, and then you appreciate them more.
Yeah.
But if you get the second reason to look at it, or a third reason, or whatever, as you said, now you'll have a look, and I probably will do the same now this weekend. I'll have a look through.
It's like art and cinema, music. It's a gift that never stops giving. I mean, one of the things I always loved, and one of the reasons why I actually started Boneyard Cinema was to meet people like you and Perry and Adam and everyone, to talk about films, because 100 people can see the same one movie and come out and have 100 different ideas about what it was about. And I've always loved that. It's because you take away from a movie what you bring to it, but a movie can mean anything to you at the time you see it. That's why I love Eyes Wide Shut. I know it got like the worst kind of reviews of Kubrick's films, and everyone said it was one of his, weakest films. But it's almost like that movie's so empty that you can put whatever you want into it and take away from it whatever you want. And I love that about it. Empty in everything. You know, the street sets are empty. You know, it's like the cars he's in feel empty. I love that about that movie, that you can kind of, I mean, I've seen that. I can't count how many times I've seen it, but it's meant something different almost every time I've watched it, because I've watched it when I've felt different and I've been at a different point in my life.
Yeah.
When I first saw it, I was young. Went to the cinema to see it. I didn't understand some stuff about it because I hadn't been in serious relationships, you know, stuff like that. And then when I got older, I got engaged at some point, watched it again. It meant something totally different, you know. And then obviously I had friendships that were bad friendships, you know, like what Tom Cruise character had with Ziegler. The character Sidney Pollack played is a toxic relationship. You know, it literally is a definition of a toxic relationship. And I didn't understand that when I was a kid, but later on I had that kind of relationship with somebody who was just taking and taking and taking from us and not giving us anything. So I totally understood. You know,
I was the same with Trainspotting.
Oh, Trainspotting, yeah, great.
Yeah, I was the only one who saw the cinema local here.
Yeah,
and it was interesting because I was 17 at the time, and it was an 18-cert movie, as you know, and I was the only one going in to see it, so they let me in and we'll see it.
Yeah,
and I thought, okay, it's about drugs. We know that surface level about drugs and how it affects people.
Yeah,
but then I think it's also a second watch. I thought it's like the disintegration of society.
Yep.
How society has failed Renton, Sick Boy.
Yeah.
Bud, Begbie.
Yeah. Yeah, well, I mean, totally. I can say that with the judge. The judge should help him.
Yeah.
But he doesn't. He just lets him go.
Yeah.
You know, if the judge had decided, I can see that. I can definitely see that.
And then you see when near the end, when Renton leaves the hotel.
Yeah.
And Spud looks up, he kind of wakes up, and he basically says to him, you know, I'll look after you, Spud.
Oh, yeah.
And then you see in T2 then the effect Renton's absence has on Spud.
I know.
Has had on Spud.
I thought Johnny Lee Miller was the best thing about T2. I'm actually a very big Johnny Lee Miller fan. I think he's a bit of a, I mean, he's not an unsung hero because he's been in some massive things, but man, I think he's a great actor. He did a Woody Allen film that I love him in called Melinda and Melinda. He's got a bit of a dodgy American accent in it, but man, the performance is great, and I love the show Elementary did with Lucy Liu and Aidan Quinn. That was like kind of Sherlock Holmes in New York. It was I love that show. I relish it. It's actually my ringtone, Elementary. But I think he's a great actor, Johnny Lee Miller.
Yeah,
I think. Maybe he is a little bit unsung, but he's a great actor. That's really interesting. You see what Perry's just said? I think it's connected to the American thing called closure. That falsehood, the grief can be healed when in fact it just changes to a new reality. Perry, that's almost exactly the ending of the Shrouds. What you've just said. That's spoilers. I know spoilers, but would you agree? That's almost exactly what happens in the ending.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, because
his grief just changes into a new form.
He's moved on. To a degree,
it was a great movie, yeah.
From his wife, you know, to a degree.
He does,
but her memory's still going to be with him, and
well, she's literally with him, isn't she? Right at the end. It's, but I mean, so I guess I do kind of disagree with some of the reviewers because, well, I mean, Perry, I think you've just nailed what the ending of the film is. There, it was, it's a kind of a happy ending in that way. I thought, I really thought it was a bit of a happy ending. But I mean, coming back to Videodrome, actually thinking about endings, what do you think happens to Max Wren at the end of Videodrome? It's always a question. Do you think he just blows his brains out and that's the end of Max Wren?
I think he's a martyr. He's made himself a martyr.
All right, because I was wondering, you know, long live the new flesh, and then bang, great. It is one of my favorite Cronenberg endings. I will say that for Videodrome. Like I say, I love the texture of that ship. He shot that beautiful kind of rusted. It's just beautiful. He opens the gate. You can really feel that he's left the city. The city's in the background. He's moving out somewhere. He's far away, total isolated. It's a great scene.
Trying to get away from the signal and.
It's a really cool ending. I think that's one of my favorite Cronenberg endings. I think. But so you think that's it? He just blows his brains out and that's it?
I think he made himself a martyr.
A martyr for the cause.
No,
that's good.
I think that.
I think I'd agree with you there. That's a good explanation. It was but it was for years. Videodrome, I just couldn't figure out what that ending was about. I really couldn't. I mean, I watched it, which is again one of the things I love about cinema. Watching it and thinking about it and thinking, because you have to think about his films. They're full of ideas. They're not kind of you wouldn't sit back and put one on, if you were after Sunday dinner, for example. It's not like a Sunday afternoon type movie.
No, it's not. Definitely not
that he makes.
But moving on now to what I think is definitely his best. Videodrome would be second best, but there's a bit of a gap.
Oh, right.
The Fly.
The Fly? Yeah.
Yeah. I think it's not, as I said, I think, maybe I was a bit hyperbolic, as I said, about the Videodrome.
Yeah.
But I think The Fly is social commentary again.
Well, I've always looked at it as a film about the aging process.
Yeah,
like watching the person you die, kind of getting older, getting diseased.
Yeah,
that was always my interpretation of The Fly.
Yeah, I think that in a modern look at it, yeah, I think so.
It's very sad though. I mean, The Fly is a sad movie too.
Yeah, I think with the initial reaction from critics, I think it was kind of like AIDS metaphor.
Yeah, I can see that too. I'd never really looked at that, but I
think you're more right with aging.
Yeah, it's
because when he loses his fingers and his nails,
teeth and everything. God,
yeah,
that's some
his ear and
gnarly effects. I love it. He's got the little the Museum of Brundle when he opens up his bathroom cabinet.
That's right. Yeah,
he's got his teeth and stuff, and I think his penis is in a jar or something, isn't it?
Yeah, I heard that. Yeah.
And it's just like. I don't know. Sorry, I'm not sure if I can say that on YouTube, but but man, I love that scene.
It's live stream,
I love it how he takes it. So many good one-liners. Watch out, each jungle bars.
Yeah,
there's loads of good one-liners in The Fly. I think it's up there with one of my favorite Jeff Goldblum performances. I mean, I'm a massive fan of Independence Day, though. I think that's one of my favorite.
Okay.
I think that's probably one of my favorite Jeff Goldblums, but The Fly is definitely one of my favorites of his. Definitely one. And Gina Davis rocks that role, and it's also who is an unsung hero, definitely John Getz. Because I saw him in Blood Simple when I was younger.
Yeah.
And then seeing him again in The Fly was almost like, yes, John Getz is back doing something. Because you've got to really dig into his films to find them. But I love John Getz. I think he's a fantastic actor. And Stathis Borans, right?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah,
Stathis Borans. And I effing love him in The Fly. I think that bit at the end.
Love for man.
He's just
fighting the play too.
he's just fantastic. I mean, I get so like emotional at the end when he loses his leg and his arm, and he's still fighting, and he's still fighting and fighting and fighting. Because you've got to realize he loves Gina Davis just as much as Brundle does.
Yeah,
and I love that. I got goosebumps thinking about it. I love that scene so much when he gets the shotgun and stuff, but he's got no arm or leg left, and he's like crying because he wants to save a life. It's like, and he does. He's the hero.
Yeah,
but man,
I think it's when you say it's sad. Yeah, it is sad when Brundlefly puts
the rifle to his head. I know that. And I mean the special effects, the eyes. That thing's alive.
Yes,
the special effects are magnificent.
Christopher Wallace. Yeah,
at that moment they are. I mean, The Fly for me, like I say, it wouldn't be one of my favorites, but I mean, they're all my favorites really. But like I say, if I had to pick a top five, my Fly wouldn't be in the top five. The Fly wouldn't be in my top five. But it is a great film. I mean, like I say, I can actually hear the bomb, bomb, bomb in my ears from the soundtrack talking about it. It's a beauty. That I love the opening of that with the kind of molecules.
Yeah,
it's a great opening.
Again, let's go back to the little stories before the film started.
I think it's. I mean, I was talking to someone the other day about it, talking about the Shrouds, and seeing how much I enjoy the little opening scenes because it just really gets you to sit back and relax and say, okay, it gives you that couple of moments, just to set up the story. I love the opening of Existenz that way as well.
Yeah,
but like I love those openings.
When they're all going into the church and
It's something I really like about Cronenberg's movies. He gives that like 2 or 3 minutes at the beginning to sit back and relax, and you're in for a ride here. Put your seatbelt on. It's like I love that you just get that couple of minutes at the beginning of his films.
And we'll be talking about the seatbelts later on.
or lack of seatbelts.
Spoilers again.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, The Fly, it is a magnificent work, and
it is my favorite, to be fair.
And the effects, like I say, I mean, you really do feel like Brundlefly is alive. You really do, and it was, who did you say it was? Chris Wallace.
Christopher Wallace, yeah.
Christopher Wallace. It is the really good. Was it an Oscar for that? Did he get for the special effects, or was it nominated? Because the effects were brilliant.
I don't know.
But I mean, he really did pave the way for Julie Doctanu and these are the filmmakers now.
He won. Chris Wallace and Stephen Dupuis.
Won, did it? It did win.
Yeah, best makeup.
Best makeup, man. Cool. It deserved it. It did. It's. I mean, there's a couple of moments where it does look like a rubber suit, but that's still the magnificent effects. They really are. And I mean, he did that whole. I talked about this the other day, actually, in one of my videos, that he did Hour of the Wolf. He looked at the Bergman film because the guy walked up on the roof. The guy's grief makes him walk up the wall and then walk along the roof, like dancing on the ceiling.
Yeah.
and he kind of used that. He looked at how Bergman had done that to do that effect with Brundle when he climbs on the roof.
Strange, you wouldn't put those two together, would you? Bergman and Cronenberg.
He said, I think he's a big Bergman fan. I've heard him mention Bergman a couple of times.
He did, and but he was doing the Criterion Closet picks last week. It was uploaded to YouTube.
Did he choose Hour of the Wolf?
He talks about that scene.
Hour of the Wolf, right? Maybe that's where I got it. I knew it. Maybe that's where I seen it. I know he likes Fellini, right? Because he always talks about seeing Fellini's work at the theater in Toronto.
La Notte.
And he said that kind of got him into a new kind of cinema, seeing Fellini's works.
I love Fellini myself too.
I like Fellini's Casanova. I'm a big Donald Sutherland fan. I really like the one that he did with Donald Sutherland.
I like Lestrade, even though it's sad, but I also
it's really sad. Talking about sad movies, Lestrade, it's really sad.
Yeah.
But I mean, another filmmaker who you wouldn't think of it, but very special effects driven. I mean, there's lots of stunts in Fellini's films.
Yeah,
I mean, lots of feats of cinema. I mean, like in Lestrade, when the strongman, or when she's climbing the pole, or
La Dolce Vita as well. And
La Dolce Vita is great. But I can see it. You can almost see that kind of influence on him. I think the way that he shoots people. It's really interesting. He's got a really. I just love the way that he shoots people. Like I say, Map to the Stars is a really good example of it. It's so simple, but it's perfect. It really is. The way
like you're in the room with them, like I said earlier. We were talking about Cosmopolis. You feel you're in a limo with Robert Pattinson.
Yeah.
As a fly on the window.
It's like almost he kind of isolates people in the scene somehow. I don't know. But there's a great scene with Carrie Fisher in Map to the Stars, and the table. He just shoots the conversation at the table between her and Julianne Moore beautifully. Yeah. It's like I don't know how to describe it. It's almost like, would you say he's got a clinical style?
I would say from the very beginning, yeah, I think he is.
Yeah, because it is kind of almost clinical and clean the way that sterile.
Yeah, more than clinical.
Because it's like his cinematography is so clean,
Yeah,
it's I do love that. I love the way that he shoots like that. It's because nobody shoots quite like Cronenberg. His close-ups don't quite look like anybody else's close-ups, and like I say, that really stood out to me in the Shrouds because he tried a little bit of a different shooting technique. Like I say, it was very wide compared to his other films, like we said. But I respect him. It's
intense as well, I think.
It is. It does add an intensity to it. You're right.
Yeah, Crimes of the Future 22 was in your face.
I really like Crimes of the Future 2022.
Yeah,
I really love it. I think it's well, I mean, like I say, I love all of his movies, but I watched that something like 3 times in 2 days. I loved it that much. I really loved Crimes of the Future. I did. I thought it was a magnificent film. It was I love him and Viggo together. I think that's to me that's the best collaboration he had with an actor. I really like his collaboration with Viggo on History of Violence and Dangerous Method and Eastern Promise. He's it's a really good collaboration that they had together, I think. That they still have, hopefully. I'd love to see them working together again. Because he has mentioned that he wants to do another one.
Cool.
And I mean, I know that, like we said earlier, I think he shot the Shrouds on a bit of a lower budget, and that did show definitely lower budget than Crimes of the Future.
Yeah.
But if that's what it takes to get them made, I can't wait for the next one if he's going to do it. If he's going to do another one.
He's in his 80s now, so
yeah,
might be a wee bit, difficult for him. But then again, you see, he's in good shape, so he might be okay.
He was actually talking about it in one of the interviews I watched. How technology is part of the body anyway. He was talking about his cataract surgery, and he was saying,
"That's right." Yes,
he's like, "I'm looking at you through plastic lenses now. These aren't my
That's
eyes."
The one earlier.
Or he was talking about his hearing aids. He's got like an app to control his hearing aids. So he says, "I'm actually controlling the way that I hear the world through technology." And it's like that's there in all of his ideas, isn't it? It is. I mean, coming to crash in that with the integration of the human body with technology, even though that's a crude concept that he says kind of floats around on the surface somewhere, But I think that really is something I admire about his work. He doesn't shy away from the times in which the films are made at all. No. I mean, iPhones, iPads, screens, they're all over his films.
Well, yeah, that's the thing. You see, I think, sorry, excuse me, get into existence. Biopods.
Yep.
And then plugging the wire.
Yep.
How we say it's not really a wire, but it's into the back.
Yep.
You're like, and then the dirtiness of Willem Dafoe's job.
Yep.
Because it becomes infected.
Yep.
And Jude Law's character.
Ted Pikel.
Yeah, couldn't think of his name there.
I love that name. He always picks great names like Stathens Boris or Stathis Borens or Ted Pikel. He always picks these great names for his characters. Or is it Allegra Geller? Jennifer Jason Leigh? Because Existenz is, I mean, it's an exciting one for me, Existenz. Because it was, I remember seeing Existenz on the cinema, man, and I love it. It's an incredible, incredible film. I think that would definitely be on my list. Probably after Shivers, that would be my next favorite. If we're doing a favorite list,
I'm going to share a video of yours.
Yeah. Which one?
Oh, you'll see now.
All right, but I absolutely love Existenz. It's I love the way it's shot. Jennifer Jason Leigh is one of my favorite actresses. I think I mentioned her last week, didn't I? In Dolores Claiborne. But Jennifer Jason Leigh is one of my favorite actresses of all time, and she just nails Allegra Geller. There's just this amazing kind of just off quality to the character, and you see her like every now and again. There's a bit where she looks at Pikel, when he notices a little two-headed creature on top of a van, on top of a bonnet, and he kind of looks at it, and she looks at him. And it's just like the way she looks at him is really creepy, as if like I don't know, as if he's just playing with your reality all the time in Existenz. And it's like does she know something he doesn't know? Of course she does, But does he know something she doesn't know? Because know this, that I knew you were my assassin when you pointed the gun at me in the Chinese restaurant. That movie's so coming along to the Shrouds actually in the conspiratorial side of it, because it's heavy in conspiracy. I love the conspiracy of Existenz because you never know who's who. If people are good, then they're bad, or people are bad, then they're good.
Holmes' character is very ambiguous.
I love that about Existenz. It's I think it's one of its cleverest screenplays because it keeps you on your toes all the time. This
video is from John, as I said. It's his other talent rather than films. So it's his music talent.
Oh, I've just done the little Existenz thing.
So, for those who aren't subscribed, please do subscribe to John's both channels. So this one isn't Boneyard Cinema. This one's Boneyard Music. Yeah.
Which I started off doing singer-songwriter stuff on, but I've started to mess around on piano and synthesizers a bit. So,
I do think this is a great piece of music, to be honest with you. And I'm not brown-nosing John, so.
So I tried to write a piece of music that I liked, like that about how Existenz made us feel. So that's what this is anyway.
Step into my office. Pikel. Kind of losing touch with the texture of it, you know what I mean? I mean, I actually think there's an element of psychosis involved here.
I've devoted 5 of my most passionate years to this strange little creature. And I've never regretted it, Michael. Because I knew it was the only thing that could give my life any meaning. What's going on?
You're worth a lot of money if you're dead. Everything is so dirty, absurd, grotesque.
Have I won? Have I won the game? Have I
won? Yes, you're right. That is all that matters.
Existence is paused!
I tried to, I just tried to write a piece of music that was kind of like how Existence made us feel, and I tried to make it like a cool little piece of. I mean, what I love about it is like Existence. There's a way that he transitions realities in Existence that's just great. He does it through this great use of sound that I mentioned before, but it's like you never quite know what's going on in Existence. So I kind of tried to make a piece of music that sounded a bit like computer game music. But no, thanks for playing it. It was, but I really enjoyed doing that little video. It was cool. Be right back. So just me for the minute. But yeah, Existence, man. It was, I remember the cinematic experience of it was just so damn cool. I remember going in the cinema with a mate of mine, Gav. This was, I think it was 99, if I remember correctly. But it was a cinematic experience I'll never forget. Just kind of sat back. You know, I remember I had a huge Coke, like a huge slushie. And man, it was just such a great film. The sound in the cinema was incredible in Existence. It really was. But yeah, cheers for showing that, Kerry. It was
no worries.
I was just saying I tried to write something that was just how Existence makes us feel. And yeah. It's definitely is one of my favorite Cronenberg.
I had to, when I closed the tab down.
Did you close the camera?
So I had to go back and enter the stream again. So, yeah, I think I was just saying, I don't know if you heard me say it when we were playing it. It gave me a solid Precinct 13 vibes.
Oh well, I love John Carpenter is my favorite. I actually did one of those videos about Precinct 13. I kind of did a piece of music that was homage to.
That's what came up after. So.
Right.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I was lucky. Perry's just mentioned. I did a video about the whip and the body, a Mario Bava film I love, and I couldn't sleep. And it was about it was like 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning. It was the couple of nights we had that were like a heat wave, and I just couldn't sleep. So I got up and I was just messing around on the piano at like 3 or 4 in the morning with my headphones on here in the room, my piano there at the back, and I was just had the whip and the body on, and I was watching it. I just kind of improvised this thing to the whip and the body on the piano. And it blew up. It got like 20,000 views. I was up over the moon. It was got us a few new subscribers too, which was great. And it's always the ones you don't expect. I literally something I wrote in like when I couldn't sleep in like half an hour, and it blew up. But that's a beautiful movie. I think Whip and the Body's one of the most beautiful movies of the 1960s.
Cool. So, Fly has flown away.
Oh, Brundlefly, man, it's great, isn't it?
Yeah,
it really is.
But
like I say, not in my top 5. It wouldn't be, but Existence definitely would be. I can't count how many times I've watched it. I wanted to get to. They did a new release of Existence,
right. Okay.
And it was I couldn't get it. There was a slipcover came for it that was beautiful, like texture. But I did manage to get the 101 slip of it.
Oh,
and if anybody's interested, this is a really nice release of the film. You get a cool booklet, and but it's one of my favorites, man. That's beautiful original artwork. That was the cinema poster that I remember seeing. Was that image?
That's nice, all right, yeah.
And it was. I love that imagery. It is. There she is. She's got that look all the way through the movie. She knows something nobody else does. There's actually a clip in that you showed that looks in that video. I put that look where she looks at Pikel, and it's just Pikel. It's just like she knows something you don't, mate. It's great. Jennifer Jason Leigh's.
She is a great actress.
She's incredible, man. She really is. She's one of my favorites. But yeah, Existence definitely will be on my list.
Cool.
All right.
And now we go on to something a bit more psychologically based, if we haven't done already. My opinion, Jeremy Irons was made for this role, or roles, should I say? Dead Ringers.
Yes, I did just buy. Speaking of releases, I did just buy that recently. This is an ITV release of it on Blu-ray. It was only about £6 or £7 on Amazon. ITV release, and it was a really nice transfer because my DVD I had of this for a long time wasn't the best transfer.
Yeah, well, I think it was a Carlton release I had.
Yeah, that was the one I had, the silver box around the frame. Yeah.
So if that's going cheap, you might go for it.
Yeah.
Upgrade to blue.
But it was only like I say £6 or £7, and it was worth it. But that's another one that's got a beautiful opening of all the twins. Yeah, it's a really conjoined twins, isn't it? I think.
Yeah,
it's a really beautiful opening that with Howard Shore's score again, and I love the prologue to that when the kids sitting on the steps in the 40s or 50s, and the Mantle brothers are two of his most strange characters.
Beverly and Elliot Mantle, yeah,
they are. They're
not saying a lot.
It is saying something, but I mean, it is. I agree with you. Jeremy Irons is he's an incredible actor.
Yeah.
He is. I mean, it kind of goes without saying now because he's got so many accolades, but he really is that good in anything that he's in. He's just one of them actors that seems to give himself 100% always. I mean, even in stuff like The Time Machine, the remake with Guy Pearce, when he just turns up at the end and he's this great character in this less than great film. I mean, I do like it, but less than great film. But he's just really good in it, and it just seems like he always gives himself to the role 100%. I love him in Kingdom of Heaven as well.
Yes, that's one of Lex's favorites.
He's excuse me. Yeah, he's really good. And I mean, I think that was probably what made us fall in love with him was Dead Ringers. That's one of the films that made us fall in love with him. That and Reversal of Fortune, I love him in. But when he played the German guy, Alan Dershowitz, I can't remember his name, but he got accused of murdering his wife. It was a Barbara Schroeder movie. True story, was great, and Dershowitz is obviously in the press a lot lately with all the Trump stuff. But it's Jeremy Irons and Dead Ringers. It's an incredible performance.
The first time I saw him, actually, I'd seen him in some stuff. I didn't realize how good he was. I seen him in Dungeons and Dragons from 2000.
Yep. I mean, he kind of just turns up at the end of that one as well.
Yeah,
he's
a little cameo. Yeah.
Yeah.
And but I'm getting goosebumps myself actually now thinking about it. He was basically, he is basically an actor who I won't say does small roles.
Yeah.
But he does roles which he's not the center of attention.
Yeah.
And he's a character actor, but in a good way.
Definitely, I'd agree with that because he's always, like I say, he gives himself to the roles. He always feels like he is that character. He always does. One of my favorites with him in is Bertolucci's film Stealing Beauty, and he plays this guy who's dying of cancer.
Okay.
And he's just like you said, it's an ensemble cast. He's not the main actor at all, but his scenes in it are just beautiful.
Yeah.
Beautiful. He's like smoking a cigarette, and because he's dying, or smoking a joint, I think it is, and he's dying. So he's like, you can see him in the scene. He's like savoring every puff because he knows this might be the last joint he ever has. It's an amazing performance. But Dead Ringers is obviously also amazing. And I remember seeing him talk about it, and he said he gave the different characters different walks.
Yeah.
So I think it was for Elliot, he walked on his tiptoes. and for Beverly, he walked on his heels. So it changed the character, and obviously the different haircuts. But it changed the way the characters like held themselves by the way that he walked, or he would put like, I think he would put like stones in his shoes or something for one of them. So it changes posture and everything, and it does. I mean, it's fantastic. And I remember his production designer Carol Spear talking about them making the sets for it, and because of the way they shot that film, they had to kind of work vertical lines into the sets so that they could splice the two images together of the two performances together. And I mean, she's a devotee, not a devotee. What would you call it? A constant collaborator with Cronenberg. And her production design was always fantastic, Carol Spear.
Remember the Family?
Yeah, definitely.
I would say.
Aye.
Basically, like, well, getting back to Lynch again, like, oh Jesus, why am my head going down with things like this? Harry Dean Stanton.
Yes.
And stuff like that. But Harry, just sorry. He was in Play School. That's right. Yeah, he was. That's where he started out. Did you know that, John?
Yeah, Play School. Yep.
Yeah.
I'm a huge Jeremy Irons fan. I mean, I watched him in Brideshead Revisited and stuff, and I watched everything. I loved him, and it's. I mean, when he won the Oscar for Reversal of Fortune, I wish I could remember the guy's name he was playing. It was because it was a true story. But he thanked David Cronenberg. He won the Oscar for a Barbet Schroeder film. And he thanked Cronenberg when he won the Oscar. So the performances in Dead Ringers, I guess, and Butterfly.
Klaus von Bülow.
Von Bülow, that's it. Klaus von Bülow. Yes, thank you. That was on my brain. Klaus von Bülow. Yeah, Glenn Close played the wife as well. It was who he was accused of the murder. But that's if anyone's yet to see that, it was an Oscar-winning film, so it's pretty well known. But it's one of my favorite Jeremy Irons performances, other than the Cronenberg stuff. But when he won the Oscar for that, he thanked Cronenberg in the Oscar speech. And he said, "For those of you who know, I also want to thank David Cronenberg," and I always thought that was super cool. Yeah, because it obviously meant a lot to him, the performance in Dead Ringers, to thank another filmmaker, in your Oscar acceptance speech for winning the Oscar for a different movie. So I guess it did give him some confidence, or give him something, that he took from the work with Cronenberg that he treasured. And I treasure that. I think I treasure that performance, and oh my goodness, I'm really bad with names today. I don't know what it is. The actress from Obsession and Coma, who plays the girl that the two brothers fall in love with.
Oh, Genevieve.
Genevieve Bujold. Yeah. I was just gonna check the disc. Yeah, I'm terrible with names today. I don't know why.
At least I have an excuse.
But I mean, her performance is great in it. The sex scenes are fantastic in that movie. I love the way that he uses the medical instruments to tie her up when they're making love, and it's his sex scenes are always very well shot. I mean, there's a lot of sex in the Shrouds, and they were shot wonderfully. I mean, the sex scenes, they're not like normal love scenes, It's not, you don't necessarily see people, holding hands, or the sheets moving, or, like normal love scenes are shot, or like the two hands rubbing together, at the top of the bed or something. But he shoots
them for real almost.
He shoots them in that wonderful way that, I mean, because the Shrouds is fresh in my mind, that love scene when he's lying behind her, the sister, Vincent Cassel's character, Kirsch. That was a beautifully shot love scene. It was, I mean, even when they actually got into the full-on action of the love scene, should we say, it was like the angles were just perfect. It was shot really well. Because I know a lot of filmmakers kind of shy away from it, but he never does. I mean, I love Carpenter. Speaking of Assault on Precinct 30 in there, you mentioned, and he hates it. He said, I don't like any kind of intimate stuff like that. He tries to stay away from it. But but Cronenberg just, the way he shoots love scenes is fantastic. And I mean, he made a whole movie around love scenes, kind of, with Crash, didn't he? But
and cars.
Loving cars.
Yeah.
But the Dead Ringers, it was. It is
for me. It's on the bottom rung.
Yeah.
But as we said, we like all the movies.
Would do. I would would do. So, I mean, that's why we're having this cast in it. But
yeah,
it was. I agree. I wouldn't have that. I'd have M Butterfly above that on my list. M Butterfly would be in my top 5. Probably Shivers, Existence, and then I would say M Butterfly would be the third because it's that's the next Iron's performance. Was that the next film?
No.
Did he do M Butterfly next?
No, M Butterfly was 93.
93.
Yeah, we've got to briefly talk about DC's acting talent in Cabal, or aka Nightbreed.
Yes.
And not his first role, as in he's had a couple of cameos in his own movies.
Oh yeah, well I mean his dead body was in the Shrouds. Did you notice?
Actually, no, I didn't.
He was one of the dead bodies in the Shrouds. But there's a couple. I really like him in To Die For. He pops up in Gus Van Sant's on my list with Cronenberg and Schrader.
Yeah.
You know, Catherine Bigelow. There's a couple of directors I just love. You know.
Yeah, Catherine Bigelow's pretty decent, right? I have to say.
I mean, I've got a kind of list of a few directors. I really like Peckinpah. I really like Kelly Reichardt. I really like Kelly Reichardt's film Old Joy. I think that's a masterpiece of a film. I'm so glad she's got more funding now to do films. But I think I had M Butterfly. I think I would like that. Definitely put it above Dead Ringers.
Yeah, fair enough.
But I mean, as an actor, To Die For, I love that. He's a sinister hitman. He pops up at the end as a hitman. And he kind of leads our way, and he's really sickly sweet. And Jason X, he gets killed by Jason, right?
That's right, yeah.
Jason X, because I think, I can't remember who the director was. Isaacs? Was it Jim Isaac? Who directed Jason X? Did some special...
I'll tell you now in a second because I have it here.
He did some special effects work for Cronenberg, and I think he spoke to Cronenberg about directing Jason X. And because I'm actually a big fan of Jason X, I really like it. And he'd said, should I do it? And he said, you should do it, but only if I'm in it. And I want to get killed. And I want to get killed by Jason. So Cronenberg got killed by Jason, but it was Cronenberg's effects designer, I think, special effects designer who did it. He directed it.
I need the light on. We've heard we blinded people.
And I think, so what's that? He was in Cabal. Nightbreed. He was in To Die For. He was in Jason X. Star Trek Discovery, I remember he popped up in, didn't he?
Yeah.
He popped up in Star Trek Discovery. What else? He's a good actor, I think. A very good actor. Man. He was in that amazing film. I totally forgot about it. Last Night. It was directed by Don McKellar, who's in Existence. The guy with the long black hair in Existence who works at the factory.
Oh, yes, yeah.
Where they're putting the pieces together. Don McKellar is another great director from Toronto, and he made a film called Last Night about the last night on Earth. It's like the world's ending. And David Cronenberg, man, he made us cry in it. I can't believe I forgot about this film until you mentioned his acting. He played a guy who decided on his last night on Earth, he decides to stay at work and call all the people who I think he's a gas company guy, and he calls all the people and says, "I just want to thank you for being a man." I'm welling up thinking about it. It was such a great performance. He calls all the people up and thanks them for being his customers, and that's how he spends his last day on Earth. And it's just awesome the way Cronenberg played it. He's just like, "Oh, thank you very much for being a customer for the It's a beautiful performance. I totally forgot about that.
He was in Alias.
Alias, the TV series. Yes, right.
Yeah.
I forgot about that one too.
As I said earlier, he's had cameos on his own.
Yes.
Films.
In fact, he got stabbed in the shoulder by Lynn Lowry in Shivers.
Yeah.
There's a famous story where the actor was a bit didn't want to do it, so he said, "Oh, it's okay, I'll do it." And he put the actor's shirt on, they put a pad under his shoulder, and she missed the pad and stuck a fork into his arm, and he had to go to the emergency room.
Oh, crap.
But Lynn Lowry said he was cool about it and said, "No problem, I'll just go and get stitched up." And he did. He just went and got stitched up and came back and kept directing.
That's good.
Yeah, if you see the fork in the film and it actually went into his shoulder, she missed the pad.
Jeez. Oopsie.
So there's a bit of Cronenberg trivia. He got stabbed in the shoulder by Lynn Lowry with a fork.
Could be worse. Could be a knife. So then, he he played the psychotic serial killer slash doctor slash psychologist slash whatever you want to call it in Cabal.
It's
whatever.
It's a creepy mask, isn't it?
It is very. It reminds me actually. Well, it doesn't remind me, but I think Neil Gaiman took influence from when he did Coraline. So,
yeah, button eyes.
Yeah. So then he made a psychological. Would it be psychological? You called Naked Lunch? I'd say more surreal.
Surrealist. I'd say it's a surrealist film. It's. I mean, It's on my list. I'd say that's in my top 5 as well. Naked Lunch, and so
it's in my top 5 too. Yeah,
I'd say that would probably be number 4 because I'm such a big Burroughs fan.
Yeah,
and it's he did it. He did the same thing kind of when he did The Ballad with Crash. It's not an adaptation of Naked Lunch.
No,
but it's almost like a visual representation of Burroughs' work.
Yeah,
and it's totally Cronenberg's work.
But I think Burroughs is hard to adapt in general.
But it's a collaboration between 2 artists I really admire. And he nails it by not trying to do Burroughs. He didn't try to do Naked Lunch.
Yeah.
He kind of took the idea of Burroughs' work and made it into this fantastically surreal thing. It's just it's an incredible, it's brilliant. It's brilliant, it is.
Yeah, you got Roy Scheider and...
Yeah, Roy Scheider. You've got Julian Sands, who's another one of my favorite actors of all time in that. You've got Ian Holm pops up in it. You've got Judy Davis. It's a fantastic cast. Really fantastic cast. Peter Weller, you know, as I mean,
Weller, yeah.
I mean, most people fell in love with him because of RoboCop, but I fell in love with him because of Naked Lunch.
Yeah.
And I mean, William Lee really looks like Burroughs. He nailed that skinny, druggy look with the cool hair and the glasses that he gives him. There's the prop. He works the heck out of that role, Weller. It's brilliant. It
is a masterpiece, like, of surrealism, to be fair.
Yeah, it is. I love everything about it. I really do. I love the actor from The Dead Zone who plays kind of you've got kind of the Ginsberg character, and he kind of plays the Kerouac character. Well, you know, it's he's fantastic in the role. He was the killer in The Dead Zone. I can't remember his name either. I'm terrible for names tonight.
Yeah, the character's name is Dodd, anyway. So.
Yeah, Dodd. Yeah, the guy who played Dodd. I should know all these names, but I keep forgetting. I don't know what I should have done my homework. That's what I should have done.
Well, to be honest, I didn't get a chance to do my homework, so I'm only going from memory.
But it's
just 24 hours or so.
It's got a vibe to it, Naked Lunch, that's just the vibe of Burroughs' work. He just gets it. And it's I did the same with Crash. It's not Crash. It's not quite Ballad, but he nailed the vibe of Ballad.
Yeah, I think that's what he did with Naked Lunch.
Yeah,
it's the vibe, but also like you can't really get into Burroughs' head.
I mean, it's a mixture of a lot of Burroughs stories. I mean, the book Naked Lunch.
I think on the kind of interview I saw.
It is. I mean, it's not just Naked Lunch. It's ideas from a few of his books. I mean, Naked Lunch, the novel itself, is a very jumbled book. It's like fragments. Burroughs did a cut-up technique where he would write lines, then cut the lines up, throw them up in the air, and see where they landed, and then rearrange his sentences like that. And that's kind of how he wrote those. Not Junkie, but that's how he wrote some of the later books. It was Bowie did the same thing with Diamond Dogs, I think it was, because he was a Burroughs fan, so he did that kind of cut up technique, wrote it first, then cut it up, and then rearranged the sentences. And that's how the film feels. He totally gets the film like that.
Did I hear you say Bowie?
Hi, I know. I get that all the time. I do. I get that all the time.
Bowie?
Bowie, sorry, right. I get that all the time because I'm a big Bowie fan.
There you go again.
But I get that all the time.
No, I know. I'm teasing you. But yeah, so we briefly talked about M Butterfly.
Yes, which was one of my favorites.
That's as trans myself.
Yep.
I do feel it's a good character. John Lowe. Anyways,
that's him. John Lowe. John Lowe.
Yeah.
Yep.
He made a beautiful girl, like a woman, like, you know.
Well, I mean, he falls in love with that, doesn't he? And he won't even. he won't even let himself believe that it's not the beautiful person that he fell in love with. I mean, that's the themes kind of that run through his work. You know, that thing about in the Brood, about he just won't see that. Well, he won't see that she's a he. He won't see it. I mean, even at the end when he takes his clothes off, he still won't believe it. And in the end, he transforms himself into the person that he loves.
Yeah.
When he spoilers, but when he commits suicide at the end, he's doing the geisha at the end.
Yeah.
I love it, man. I think it's beautifully shot as well. I mean, we've got, the producer, what do you call him? We've got a lot of movies to thank him for. Man, he did Naked Lunch with him, Jeremy Thomas.
Yeah.
The movies, he produced some of the best movies of all time, and he really gave Cronenberg some great space there to do some great work. I love to hear him talk about the films they make together, Jeremy Thomas. He's one of my favorite producers because he seems to be a money man with a lot of money, but he always let the artists do what they want. He did I think was it Mad Dog Morgan he did with Philip Morris, and he just lets the directors direct their visions, and he actually makes the films that he wants to see.
Yeah,
Jeremy Thomas, he's a great producer, so I think he has to be mentioned there because I think that them movies might not have happened with another producer. I think it was partly Geffen as well, who did.
I think they had
M. Butterfly.
I'll just check here.
But Jeremy Thomas gave Cronenberg the chance to go in another direction, because I mean we'll have to talk about the kind of shift there at Dead Ringers is that he stopped doing the kind of more grosser films that he was known for. Well, they're not gross, but the more visceral, horrific body horrors like Rabid or which it's funny to use the term body horror because he always says I don't know what that means. I mean, he says I guess I am body horror, and that he said Janet. He told a great story when I was doing the Shrouds research, not doing the research, but watching the press, and I think it was Janet Maslin or somebody famous, a critic, had rang him up, and she was asking him loads of questions, and she said, "I'm sorry, but I'm going to have to see body horror and he was like, "Okay, fine, I guess I'm the body horror guy," and he realized that she was interviewing him for his obituary.
Oh, Jesus.
But because she was going to be the reporter who was going to write it. And obviously he's not dead yet, but he said, I'm at that age now. And I said, I realized. So he said, she was interviewing us because she's going to be the one that's going to write my obituary for the New Yorker or whatever the paper was. And he said, so we pretty much agreed that my gravestone's going to have body horror director written on it. But he always says, I'm not quite sure what it means. But there was a shift in his career where it wasn't quite Videodrome anymore, and he kind of went more dramatic with Dead Zone, and then by the time he gets to Dead Ringers, it's still Cronenberg, but he's kind of taken a different path.
Yeah,
it's not as I don't know what the right word is. Maybe
I saw someone describe it as he made the movies he wanted to make.
Yep. Yes, I mean that makes sense. It does, but it's not M. Butterfly's not The Brood, or it's not Shivers.
No.
It's Cronenberg, but it's a new Cronenberg. It's a more mature Cronenberg, dare I say?
Yes.
It's like, but not mature as in age, more mature as in his techniques, his stories, his ideas are almost getting more fully formed, and it's like I always say this about George Romero when he hit Day of the Dead. I think that was his peak, But I mean, I love Night of the Living Dead. But Day of the Dead and Creepshow, they're perfectly directed films. His earlier films are a bit chaotic, like the Crazies and things. And, it's because he was learning to make films. And they're almost like soft films.
Or Crazies, I think it's more the fact that it's the themes and the story is chaotic. And the film has to be like that to match the pace.
And it's the same with Cronenberg, the Brood is like that. The Brood's similar to or Rabbit even. It's similar to something like the Crazies. It's got these big ideas, huge ideas, in fact, for a second feature, and he pulled that off brilliantly for a second feature. It's like he stepped up his game immediately. Rabbit is a huge jump from Shivers to Rabbit in terms of direction. And I think and his films seem to get quieter, they seem to get a little bit more introspective. And that's, I think it's a perfect. I think M. Butterfly is a pretty perfect movie. I really do. I think it's a perfect directed, perfect score, perfect acting, perfect choices. The direction's flawless. It really is. It's like, and I think that for me was, I mean, I still love his work, and I love the Shrouds. I love Crimes of the Future. I mean, he gets better and better almost. But for me, that was kind of like the peak of his powers. I think that is his most beautifully directed film, along with Existence. I think there is two most beautifully directed films. I mean, they're perfect. I can't see a bad thing about them. You know, that's how perfect they are, I think.
So Crash 1996. Now, I say the year because if we say Crash, people might think we're talking about Paul Haggis's movie. Which,
well, you know, Paul Haggis, man, I'm a massive fan of Due South. like huge. I know that's a weird show to love, but I absolutely love. I'm like a Due South fanatic, right? And that's how I knew Paul Haggis, and it was so crazy when Crash came out and he was winning all these Oscars. I was like, that's the guy that wrote Due South.
I did not know that, but I did watch the show.
He created Due South, Paul Haggis. It's I love it. I love it so much. But yeah, it was so Crash, not to be confused with
Crash.
Crash.
But yeah, as you said earlier, it's not Ballard's story.
No.
It's Cronenberg's story, but it's got elements of Ballard's story.
There's a really good interview with the two of them together. Ballard and Cronenberg, and he actually did lots of interview, not lots, but he did long interview with Burroughs as well. The two of them get interviewed together, and you can see that the writers are a little bit sharpish about how much he changed their stories, and especially Ballard. Ballard is, he makes a point to say that it's not the book. It's not the book. It's not the book. You know, in the interviews, but I think Ballard respected the movie. From what I saw, but it's definitely not his book. It's Cronenberg's movie. It really is. And I prefer the movie to the book. I do like Ballard. I kind of put him up there. I kind of lump him in with Philip K. Dick a bit. I know we've talked about Philip K. Dick. I'm a huge Philip K. Dick fan. And I kind of not lump him in, but I put him there with Philip K. Dick. That's kind of, he's got this great way of, as most good sci-fi writers have, Ballard's got this great way of predicting the future through his research in science. And just like Cronenberg has, that we mentioned with Rabbit, he was kind of predicting the phones would become a massive part of our lives, and they did, The
stem cell research.
Yeah, the stem cell research. And these ideas come from great ideas, but ideas grounded in a reality, and a possible reality, I think. And that's one of the things that, again, steps his movies up, definitely, I think, from other, especially his earlier works, other exploitation filmmakers.
Yeah, as you said earlier as well, more mature.
Yeah, more mature. Yeah, I think his ideas.
Even though, well, I won't say it's adult content. Well, it is obviously because it's.
Oh yes, very adult. I mean,
like kind of more visceral.
Yes.
In terms of sex.
Yep.
And in your face rather than.
It's for me, that thing with Crash comes back to the texture. That scene with that great scene with Deborah Kara Unger, the opening scene.
Yeah.
Who I should say again is another one of my favorite actresses. I absolutely love Deborah Kara Unger and everything she does. She's I recently watched the Silent Hill movie again. Fantastic in that movie.
It is actually really good.
I watched White Noise as well. She's great. She's in one of my favorite Val Kilmer movies called The Salton Sea. She's and she is perfect for Crash. I mean, the cast again, Spade is perfect.
Yes,
Crash.
he is, yeah.
Elias Koteas is perfect. Holly Hunter.
Yeah.
Perfect. It's a perfect cast. It really is. And that scene, it comes back to texture, like where they're having sex on the plane and she's pressed right up against the cold steel of the plane. And the camera just kind of comes in really like slowly, kind of eye level, tracks in on them having sex, and he lifts up a skirt and she's pressed up against the plane. You can feel the texture of the airplane. Like when I watch the film, I've used the word incredible a lot this stream. I know I have, because I think his work really is incredible and it's not like anybody else's. But you can feel her body on the plane. You can feel the texture of it, the way that it's lit, the way that it's shot, the way that she's pressed up against it. It's it's like, that's why I say there's no one else like him. There's not many other directors I would get that with.
No, I don't think so either. The other directors I'd want to say would shy away.
Yeah.
Showing that intimacy.
Yeah.
You know, they might shoot a sex scene, all right, but they'll cut away and then go back to it or zoom out.
I love the scene as well when Speed is in bed. And it's really hard, isn't it, to talk about sex? I don't know what words we can say and what we can't say. But she puts her hand under the sheets.
Yeah.
And but you see her soap her hands up before she touches him. Like she rubs some soap on her hands while she's talking to him and then puts her hands under the bed sheet. And then he just pulls the camera back and you see the action of her hand under the sheet. And I mean, that scene's, we'll keep saying that word again, visceral, but it is. Like just the fact that he shows her putting the soap on her hands first and then puts her hand under the sheet and touches him. And then you see the action of it happening. It's like you can feel it. You know, you can feel it. And it's incredible.
That's what I mean. Like it's more intimate.
But it's almost like, you remember that joke? It's a great movie, Kentucky Fried Movie. What John Landis did, where there's feel.
Oh yeah, I've heard of it. I haven't seen it.
There's a joke where there's a guy in a cinema and it's feel-o-vision. So like it starts to rain and then someone starts sprinkling water on him, and then like somebody's eating food, so he gives the guy some food, and there's like an usher behind him doing all this, and then the sex scene comes up and the usher kind of goes, you know, as if he's going to meet the guy. It's a really good scene. It's a good movie, Kentucky Fried Movie, good comedy.
I'll actually look first.
But I mean, it's a kind of weird weird reference. That's kind of how a lot of Crash feels. You can really feel it. You can feel the textures of it. And I love the textures of his films. I feel like I can touch that steel. I mean, there's a great scene with Deborah Kara Unger on the balcony of their apartment. And the sound, again, coming back to his use of sound, you can just hear this hum of cars in the background. And, you know, they're standing looking at the traffic and have this conversation. Their voices are so compressed. But it just feels like they're the only two people in the world, even though there's all this traffic.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know how he does it, but he really makes you feel the conversations. And Crash, I think, is his best film for that. I really feel like you can feel it. I mean, there's like a bit where Elias Cortez talks about, I don't want you blowing your chewing gum up my urethra. It says, take your chewing gum out, you know, went to the prostitute. Because I don't want you spitting your chewing gum up my urethra. But you can feel those words when he says it.
It is kind of like conjures up an image.
It's I mean, for all of its for all the controversy, it's actually quite a beautiful work of cinema. You know, it's a stunning film, but also a beautiful film about relationships. You know, and how some relationships work, because Spader and Kara Unger, you know, that they've got this really strange relationship where they allow each other the freedom to just go and sleep with other people.
Yeah.
But it turns them on. That's their reality. Similar to the Shrouds, where the conspiracies turn her on. This is what turns them on. And he's talking about like the deepest human conditions. You know, this is how some people live their lives. This is, you know, some people live like that. Some people have, I don't know what you call it. Open relationships, you know. And but then it twists when they both kind of fall in love with Elias Cortez and his strangeness. And it's a really deep film. I think and Butterfly and Crash are two of his deepest films.
Yeah. But
I love it, and I especially love Deborah Kara Unger in it. I think her performance is excellent, and James Spader too. I mean, all of them are. He kind of gets the better performances out of most of his actors and actresses. I mean, there is a one I don't quite like, Eastern Promise.
Yeah. Okay.
Not that I don't like the film. I like the film, but there's something about Naomi Watts' performance in it that I've never been able to quite put my finger on that I don't quite like. But that's the only performance in any Cronenberg film where I've had to like kind of think, why don't I like this? There's something about this I don't like. That's the only film of his I think I've ever watched where I could really.
Could be just her character, you know.
Maybe it is. There's just something about that performance. I've never been quite able to put my finger on it. Maybe it's because Viggo's so good in it, you know. Yeah. And it's. I mean, when you put anybody next to Viggo, it must be hard because he's, in my opinion, one of the greatest actors. I mean, I put him up there with George C. Scott and, you know, some of the greatest. I really do. I think Viggo's that great. And, I mean, he always stood out. even in smaller films like The Prophecy or Carlito's Way, when he was younger, he always stood out.
The Prophecy, I think, was one of his best. Pre-Lord of the Rings.
He just draws you. And
it's such a small role.
Yeah.
Playing the devil.
Yep, it's great. I know.
But the way he lies back as well. He's just so effortlessly cool.
Or when his eyes just flip and the blood starts coming out of his mouth, and he becomes the real devil. It's because he's so suave until that moment, and then he's like, "But you give me your soul," because he really wants it. It's great. He's just one of those actors. Like I say, I think him and Cronenberg together is one of my favorite actor-director partnerships, and I do love Eastern Promise. I love it. Eastern Promises, sorry. I do love it, but there's something about Naomi Watts' performance in that I've just. Maybe I don't think it's. I love her. I mean, I love her in Twin Peaks. I really like her in the Lynch stuff she did, Mulholland Drive, but there's just something about that performance in Eastern Promises. I don't know what it is.
Well, we're going to have to go very quickly now to the rest because it's getting a bit late. So, 2 sentences about everything from Spider up to Crimes of the Future.
So Spider, I'll say most underrated.
Yeah.
Spider's Cronenberg's most underrated film. I'm not sure whether that was to do with the distribution or what, because I saw it at the cinema and it was very limited cinematic release. I mean, it felt like it was gone in 2 or 3 days. I don't know, but it just felt like boom and gone. Yeah. But underrated, Miranda Richardson, Gabrielle Byrne, and Ralph Fiennes.
Ralph Fiennes, yeah.
It's so for that to sum it up, I would say underrated because Miranda Richardson's performance in that is breathtaking.
I would say underrated as well, and I also would say deals with a very hard subject matter.
It does, and it just nobody ever brings it up. It seems.
Yeah.
I mean, even when I'm talking to hardcore film fans, nobody seems to bring that up as one of Cronenberg's great films. But I think it is.
It's about trauma.
Yeah, it is. I mean, it's his mother tortures the poor guy. Yeah. It is.
He thinks it's somebody else, and turns out it's his dad.
Yeah, it's crazy, isn't it? But her performance in it's amazing, and I mean Gabrielle Byrne as well. He's fantastic. But I mean, that made us fall in love with her all over again. I always loved that because of Crying Game and stuff. But that movie is she's great in it. She's really, really great. And so to sum Spider up quickly, I would say underrated and perhaps underappreciated because I never seem to hear people bringing it up much.
So, History of Violence, I would say hard hitting in a different way.
Yeah,
because you don't expect Viggo's character to be. He's presented as a quiet cafe owner.
Yep.
And then when Ed Harris's character comes in and calls him by a name he doesn't recognize. And then the flashback.
Joey. It's Joey, isn't it?
Joey, yeah. The flashbacks, and then
I'll have a black coffee, Joey.
Yeah.
I love that scene. That's History of Violence is one of his masterpieces.
Yeah. And it was a graphic novel initially, in case you didn't know, people.
I love the Stephen McHattie. Stephen McHattie is another one. I know I see a lot of people are my favorite actors, but Stephen McHattie really is up there with the best. I would put him up there with someone like Jeremy Irons, and I love that performance in the beginning when he comes in the restaurant. And he's just so evil. He just epitomizes evil in that. And he's only in the film for about 5 minutes, 10 minutes, but he epitomizes evil. And it's
I think because Viggo's character, he is a family man or portrayed as a family man, and his son is just so naive. He doesn't believe that his dad would have links to the killing people, in Chicago and all that. So it's
and it's and the performance is great because he really does switch back to being Joey. He really is Joey, and that whole family is just a facade. It really is.
Yeah.
I mean, again, the sex scene is the flip point in the film when he has sex with his wife, who's that fantastic actress. She was in Baby Driver, not Baby Driver. The Stephen King revenge film. It's just great actress, like really great. She was in Payback with Gibson as well. But
Maria Bello.
Yeah, Maria Bello. I should have remembered that name. She's a great actor. Yeah, she's one of them that doesn't get talked about as much as she should. Maria Bello is a fantastic actress. And that scene where they have sex on the stairs and you see Joey come out.
Yeah.
That's like the flipping point in the movie. And I mean, you could feel it, that visceral thing coming back to Crash. You could feel the harsh.
It's a subtle change, but then it becomes more pronounced.
You could feel it. And that, so in the way that he made love to her is how she realizes, whoa, wait a minute.
Yeah, totally different here.
He is somebody else. And that's the turning point in the movie. It was, but you're right. It's so naive. But Ed Harris's performance is outstanding as well. William Hurt kind of caught us on the back foot a little bit because his performance is almost comedic. And like when he gets locked out the house and stuff at the end, I found myself laughing at it. Just bro, the way go, come on, bro, his performance is almost comedic, but perfect cast.
Yeah.
And I mean,
I would go one word for Eastern Promises. Violent.
Yeah. I remember if I was to say some of Eastern Promises. I mean, I love the locations where it's shot in the UK. And I really love the stuff by the docks in the river. I think you really feel the griminess in the water when they have the scenes by the docks. I really like the scenes by the docks. Like I say, I mentioned it. The performance from Naomi Watts is one of my least favorite Cronenberg performances. But I can't put my finger on it. Why? And then, like I say, maybe it's because I love Viggo so much, and you put somebody next to him. I mean, when he put him with Fassbender, even in Dangerous Method.
That's right.
I mean, but Viggo, to me, is, even though he's the kind of third build in Dangerous Method, he makes the movie as Freud, I think. But
well, getting on to Dangerous Methods, I do think we know the subject matter. Oh Jesus!
Freud and Jung.
Yeah, Carl Jung. Yeah,
Carl Jung and Freud.
And you can see the rivalry between them, how the different techniques.
Yeah.
And Keira Knightley's character is just the guinea pig.
Well, again, it was Jeremy Thomas.
It's a true story.
Who produced that with him, and he kind of gave him the freedom to do whatever he wanted with it. And I love. A lot of people didn't like Keira Knightley's performance, but I thought it was great. Because she kind of externalized the pain that she was feeling through her mouth, and I love that. The way she kind of pulls her jaw and contorts her body. I loved all that. I thought it's my favorite Keira Knightley performance. I also love her in a film called The Hole. That was an older horror movie, but it's my favorite Keira Knightley performance. Dangerous Method.
We were saying earlier about how Cronenberg brought actors to the fore.
Yeah.
And I think that, when Keira Knightley made A Dangerous Method, she was known mainly for, I want to say, the Pirates of the Caribbean movies.
Yeah, and she'd done a film called Atonement, I remember. Seen her in before that with another up-and-comer at the time who was...
James McAvoy.
Yeah, James McAvoy, yeah.
And Saoirse Ronan.
Yep.
Played her sister.
But yeah, it's her performance is my favorite performance in the film, other than Viggo's. Viggo's always my favorite. He's like he's just always one of my favorites. But she was great in that. I think Fassbender was good, but Viggo and Knightley, I think they're great in that film. Those two, I really do.
Fassbender, with the exception of his Irish work, he wasn't well known.
Yeah,
at that stage, like he did Eden Lake.
Yeah, I remember Eden Lake. That was a pretty violent horror film, wasn't it?
Yeah, very gruesome.
Yeah.
And I'd love to show it to Lexi, but I think she'll be...
Is that the one where did it set fire to? I wouldn't say who, but it's...
The kids set fire to everything.
And
and basically, they're just bastards, the kids.
Yeah, I know. It's not a very nice film. It was pretty hardcore. It reminded us of The Last House on the Left kind of deal.
Yeah.
It was a pretty hardcore horror. But I liked him in, other than this, I loved his performance in Shame. But I think Shame and Dangerous Method, in my opinion, are his two best films.
You ever see him, Frank?
Yes. I wasn't a bigger fan as that as everybody else.
Okay.
But he's kind of one of those guys, I either love him or hate him. So sometimes I think he goes the wrong way with his performances.
On a related note, he did Kneecap
Yes.
Last year.
Yeah.
And one of the producers is from where the town we live now.
Oh, cool.
And I knew him from school.
The producer.
One of the producers, yeah. Right. Well, I didn't go to school with him, but he went to the school up the road. Well, not up down the road from me.
Right.
I went into school in the town centre.
All right.
And he went to school near the chapel, because it was Christian Brothers School.
All right.
But his family run a news agent.
All right.
And the town, so when that was coming out, there were big hoo-ha about Patrick's getting the but I wanted to ask him, how did he get Michael Fassbender involved? Because it was Kneecap weren't big at the time.
Yeah,
they're big here, big in the north, but not as much. I know, slightly controversial topic.
I was going to say they definitely did blow up after the controversy, didn't they?
Yeah, after Glastonbury, yeah. But and yeah, some people I know, but yeah. So we've talked about Cosmopolis. We've talked about Map to the Stars.
I do. I do love Map to the Stars. I do. If I had a 6, I know I put Crash at my number 5 there, but if I had a 6, it would be Map to the Stars. John Cusack. I think John Cusack rocks that movie.
Yeah.
I love John Cusack in it. I love Julianne Moore in it. It was oh man, I can't remember is it Wachowski?
Yeah, Wachowski, yeah.
Yeah, that was a great performance. It was,
she's very underrated.
She was a very good actress. I loved her in Map to the Stars, and I just love the whole cast. I mean, there's he cast that so well. It's there's a coldness to it, but there's this. It's just beautiful. Map to the Stars. Map to the Stars is a film that for me is all about the atmosphere that Cronenberg creates.
Yeah,
and in that film, he just creates this atmosphere that it feels like a dream world. Yeah,
it kind of feels like, for me, it feels like Mulholland Drive Part 2.
It's I really like it. I think I do. I mean, I won't go on because we've got another couple and we'll have talked about it, but I love it. And that's another one similar to Spider that doesn't seem to get talked about as much, but I absolutely adore Map to the Stars.
Yeah.
It's after Existenz and Shivers, I'd say that's probably the one I watch the most. After Existenz and Shivers, I do watch Map to the Stars quite often because there's something I find very relaxing about that film in the sound. Okay. I mean, obviously not the subject matter. The subject matter is pretty far out there, but but I find that film relaxing for some reason, and I really like that about it. So if there was if I could sneak another one, I'll put it with Crash at number 5. I love Map to the Stars. I really
number 4. Oh, yeah. But I also like the cynicism about it.
I love it. I love everything about that film. Nobody's right. Everybody's just so wrong in that film.
Yeah,
they are, and it's just this facade that people put on. I mean, John Cusack's an awful human being, but he's he's kind of that self-help guru on TV, and he goes around and does the kind of massages for people, and he looks like he's helping people, but really he's just twisted, Yeah. And it's one of my favorite John Cusack performances, Map to the Stars. And that says that he's another one I love, and that says a lot because there's a lot of good John Cusack performances out there. But Map to the Stars.
Runaway Jury.
He's been in so many good ones. I really love Grosse Pointe Blank. It's like
he's
got so many great performances. Probably my most watched rom-com would be High Fidelity. I've watched that. I can't count how many times I've watched that movie. It's brilliant, High Fidelity. But I really love him in Map to the Stars. It was like a side of Cusack I'd never seen before anyway.
Yeah.
And he's one of those. I just love his style, man. I really do. And Cronenberg cast him perfectly. Yeah, I mean, even to the way his hair's like jet black and dyed the way it is, and there's nothing right about him. He wears he wears these strange. He wears those strange shoes where you can see his toes, and the way that he moves in the clothes, it's like you can almost see him creeping around. It's cool. It's a really cool performance, and I love Map to the Stars. I really do love it. I can't express my love for that movie enough. I love that film.
And lastly, we're coming to Crimes of the Future.
Crimes of the Future, which I also love.
Yes. It took me a second watch to appreciate it.
Yeah, I remember we talked about that, didn't we? Because I fell in love with it like immediately. I just loved
second watch.
I loved the whole the way that it was shot in Greece. I think it was right.
It was Greece. Yeah, that's right.
Co-production with Greece, and there was skies that he got the colors of, and it was a beautiful looking film. Pardon me.
For me, what I didn't get at first, until not a second watch, but later on in the movie, when the wee fella eats the bin.
Yes.
And I didn't think, whatever. Didn't think, and then you realize their bodies have mutated.
Yep.
And like Vigo's body is, he can create his own organs, and
that's such a great character that Vigo plays.
Art,
I mean, in many ways, a lot of people have said about the Shrouds, the Cassell is kind of Cronenberg avatar, which is to an extent, I think.
Yeah, yes.
But not as much as people think. I think the closest we've ever seen of Cronenberg on screen is Vigo in Crimes of the Future.
Yeah,
because he's an artist like Lynch, like Cronenberg. And sorry, I got the two Davids mixed up there. But I think the way that he sees the world and creates stuff is.
Yeah,
my experience of his films, I feel like that character is probably the closest we've seen to a character being like Cronenberg in real life, I think. And that's what I really like about Crimes of the Future.
Yeah, I would agree, because he is an artist, and and then you get the Kirsten Stewart's character, as one of the censors, so to speak.
And he's touring a line. It's like between the whole movie, when you find out later that he's actually playing both sides, and he's like undercover agent.
Yeah,
it's like he's towing that line that Cronenberg's had to tow his whole career. With the critics and stuff. And I think so. My interpretation of it is that that's the closest we've ever seen Lynch, and I think that's why I love it. I really do, and I love the visuals of it. Like I say, those beautiful skies in Greece. It was a fantastic looking movie. I loved Léa Seydoux in it as well.
Yeah,
I know that she was supposed to be in the Shrouds, and I was a little bit, I was a little bit miffed that she didn't get to work with him again. But Diane Kruger was perfect in the Shrouds, I thought. But
I think it would have been very different.
Yeah, aware of
the chemistry would have been very different between Cassell and her.
There's something about her that I just really, really liked in Crimes of the Future. I think it was there was a kind of softness to her. Like in her emotion, that seemed to get harder as the film went on, and I loved that performance. It was almost like, well, she was evolving, obviously, like everybody else was evolving, but her character's arc had the best arc, I thought, in the film, and I could see the most change occurring in her, and I loved that about her character in that movie. I'd never actually thought much of her. I'm sorry to say it before Crimes of the Future, but it made me want to go back and watch her other films.
If you see Blue is the Warmest Color.
Yeah, I did. I went back and watched that again after I saw Crimes of the Future, because I started going back through our back catalogue and kind of reevaluating that, so to speak, because I enjoyed the performance so much in Crimes of the Future. And it's got a lot of the themes in that Cronenberg always returns to, of those kind of secret societies, of a society within a society. You've got different rogue factions. He's always had those kind of sci-fi ideas in his films that, really comes out in Shrouds. The Shrouds.
I think as well, going back to, alienation.
Yep.
Vigo's dying, but is he dying from the mutations going on in his body, or is he just wants to die in general?
It's incredible. Well, his performances to me are always incredible.
I think again, getting the practical effects.
Yep.
The bone chair as well, and
it was great.
The machinery, and
I love the fact as well that they shot with that little ring camera.
Yeah,
and they were making their own kind of avant-garde art pieces with that ring camera, and it was another way of him merging the technology with the films, and he was switching, because at the time I'd just seen Florida Project, I think it was, and that film switched between the kind of studio camera to a camera phone at the end of the film, And I mean, it's happening all the time now. I remember when they were shooting Iron Man 3, I think it was, they used Canon 5D Mark IIIs, I think it was, or Mark IIs for some of the scenes, and they just strapped them to cars so you could see the car crash. So they were like disposable cameras. And I love the way that he mixed those technologies together. The fact that he used a smaller camera to shoot, or to make it look like they were using a smaller camera to shoot it, I really liked, because it was kind of showing you what artists can do now. I love that about it.
Using phones, Danny Boyle, with 28 years later, he's used a lot of. I think he must have got shares in Apple or something, because he used a lot of iPhone 15s.
He shot digital, didn't he, for the first 28 days?
Yeah.
That was. I love the digital look of that film. It's. I watched it again in preparation for saying yours, and it's a great. I really like the look of it, the digital look, and I love that about Crimes of the Future, that he had that kind of lower, what do you call it, low grade kind of tech that in it. And
low grade high tech,
low grade high tech. And I mean, I guess that's an Existence too. It's in a lot of his films. It was like you're saying about the dirtiness of Gass's Willem Dafoe's workplace.
Yeah,
he kind of it's never really clean. Even though we've said it's clinical, or you could describe it as what was clinical
for that scene, because it's meant to be, or Peichel doesn't realize.
Yeah.
He has to get he doesn't. Well, no, Allegra doesn't realize that he doesn't have a bioport, and then when he does get one, he has to get one black market.
I love it. I know it like it's the texture, the dirtiness of it again.
Yeah,
and that it's never quite as clean, but he shoots it really clean. Like I say, I love the way that he shoots. But there's always a kind of dirt. There's always a kind of dirty grittiness to it.
Well, you could say the same about getting back to The Fly. Briefly, Seth's apartment.
Yeah,
it is. There's when you see the scene when he's in the wardrobe, it's all the same clothes and shoes, and he explains to Veronica that
he got that from Einstein.
Yeah.
Einstein used to wear I just have
the telepods and
clean versions.
It was dirty.
Yeah,
the lab was dirty, so to speak, and if The Fly didn't get in, something else would have.
But that's a really good way to describe it.
Yeah.
When you said like high grade, low tech, or low tech, high grade.
Yeah, low grade, high tech. Yeah, whatever. Yeah.
It's a really good way to describe the technology, but it's always there, and I love. I mean, it's Crimes of the Future is up there. It is. I mean, if it was, it's up there. It is. It's up there with my favorites. It really is. In fact, I would put it after Map to the Stars. That's how much I love it. It will be up there in my top 5, top 6.
Number 3. The Fly, Videodrome, Crimes of the Future.
Great. That's cool. That's just the whole career.
Yeah.
But the whole career covered. All right.
And breathe.
But back to the beginning, I guess. Shivers was my introduction to him, and I did see his films in order, so I kind of watched his career progress. Yeah, I mean, at the time I didn't see. I think the first one I saw at the cinema was Existence. It might have been. I never saw Crash. I think Existence might have been the first one I saw at the cinema.
First one I seen was The Fly, because it was on TV and Mum and Dad were out. I think, and I just put it on, and I think it was about 12.
But I mean, Shivers is it's not just one of my favorite Cronenberg movies. It's one of my all-time favorite movies. I think it's like I said earlier, I think it's a masterpiece of horror. And I know that certain filmmakers like Scorsese and stuff have mentioned it too. Right, because even though it's coming back to why we love him, I guess, and why we wanted to talk about him. It's that his ideas and the way that he shoots, and I guess himself as a person and his uniqueness of the fact that he was studying insects at university, and I think he was going to become a science major, wasn't he? Before, or was it entomology?
So. As you said earlier, he wanted to write, and then he was going to become a teacher.
And I know he always said he saw a film called Winter Kept Us Warm that had his friends in it.
Oh, okay.
And he kind of said, well, if they're doing it, I can do it, And I always admired what he said about Romero, because Romero is one of my favorites, and he said that Night of the Living Dead was an inspiration to a lot of us. You know,
cool.
Not in style or tone or anything, but just the fact that Romero had done it. You know, that Romero had picked up that 16 mil and shot the film. And he said it was, that it affected every filmmaker after that. So I've always kind of admired that he said that about Romero, and in Night of the Living Dead was a kind of, moment that made a lot of filmmakers think we can do this. And you can see that in Shivers. It's raw. But the ideas are there, and the ideas are always there throughout his whole career. And I think he's unique. So it makes his films unique. I mean, I can't imagine anybody else. I can't think of anybody else.
Well, I remember
who's like Cronenberg. I really can't.
I remember actually getting briefly to talking with Glenn and his channel. He had a live stream a year and a half ago, 2 years ago.
So Glenn's our friend from Cynical Celluloid.
Yeah. If you have subscribed to his channel.
Yeah, it's a great channel.
Yeah.
Glenn Criddle over at Cynical Celluloid. It's a great channel.
He was in a live stream, and I had suggested a movie, and he said that we'll watch it. But before we watched it, we talked briefly about Cronenberg. But somebody had said in the chat that do you think Brandon Cronenberg has got his father's style or something like that?
Yeah, I mean, Cronenberg, in my opinion, we wouldn't have Titan, and I don't think we would have had Revenge or had something like The Substance if we hadn't had David Cronenberg first.
Yes, I fully agree with that.
I mean, those movies would not be as respected as they are. Those filmmakers may not even have been able to make those movies if Cronenberg hadn't come first.
Yeah.
He's, to me, definitely. I mean, to me, he's had an effect on cinema like no other director. I mean, the term body horror we spoke about, it exists because of David Cronenberg.
Yes.
When someone speaks about The Substance because of body horror, that's because of David Cronenberg. And I mean, I'm sure those films, I know Coralie Fargeet has said that she was inspired by Cronenberg. And I think Julie Doctanu said as well, that obviously Crash, I mean, watching Titan, obviously, very obviously, his work had an effect on them, and they wouldn't exist. And I think his son, I really did like Infinity Pool a lot. I loved Antiviral. I think that's his I think that's his best one. But the themes of disease and illness are definitely there in his work,
Yeah.
Like his father's. Possessor was cool too. I mean, that's got the CIA kind of edge of Scanners, hasn't it?
Yeah.
It's got that whole, the agency type thing. Again, we're talking about different societies.
Also mind power,
yeah.
Somebody's thoughts
But I mean, to me, he had a indelible impact on cinema.
Oh yeah. Definitely.
I don't think anybody's ever done it as good. I wasn't actually as big a fan as everybody of The Substance. I thought it was okay, but I just seen it done better before,
Yeah.
And it's like, and now even to this day, it gets, have you seen The Substance? When I talk about the fact that I like movies and horror movies, and I'll say, it's okay, but have you seen Videodrome? Or have you seen something that was done better, with the same ideas by Cronenberg? It's not that I didn't like it, I mean, Coralie Fargeet's a decent director. I loved Julie Doctanu, Raw. I thought Raw was great, but without a doubt, they wouldn't exist, I think, without the work of David Cronenberg. And I think a lot of cinema wouldn't exist if it wasn't for his uniqueness, his passion, his drive to follow through on these ideas that he has, the realization of these wonderful ideas that he has, and he follows the ideas all the way through, to the end. He's
I think, as you said earlier, like, it made you feel that you could do it too.
He does. And I mean, he inspired me with Shivers in the most important way possible.
Yeah.
He made me think, oh, wow, that's, you can do things like that. That weird idea I had, maybe I could make it into a movie. I mean,
and there's a place for me in the world because people like him.
Oh, totally. I mean, it's me too.
As I said, for me, Lynch would have been that. But,
I mean,
Cronenberg,
it was
to a degree as well.
It was a huge impact. Huge. I mean, I can't I can't thank him enough or express how much I love his work enough, you know. I mean, I've kind of picked my top 5 there, but they all changed my life in some small way.
Yeah.
Those movies, all of them did, you know. I mean, I love the beautiful kind of vibe of M. Butterfly. You know, I mean, I know it ends as a tragedy, but it's a beautiful tragedy, you know, and you've got that, the kind of, I don't know, that the ideas behind Shivers are just great ideas and the scary ideas too. You know, and Crash is just, like I say, you can feel the film, and you don't get that with other filmmakers. He's a one in a million. In fact, he's a one. That's it. You know, there's only one Cronenberg, and it's but it's not that.
That new football chant. There's only one David Cronenberg.
There's only one Cronenberg. But he's just had such an impact on my life, on my work. The very first film I ever wrote and directed was a short film called The Freedom Room, which was about rehabilitation through art. And that whole premise came from something that one of the characters says in Scanners, you know. Somebody talks about rehabilitation through art. I ended up working in prisons for a little bit when I was a college student, working with inmates doing films. And got an idea after I met this guy in the prison cell. He talked about how, you know, his paintings were his whole world, and he kind of put his paintings all over his cell. And the film, The Freedom Room, I called it. But that was a mixture. I was inspired by that line in Lynch's film, Rehabilitation Through Art. And I met this guy, and I kind of thought, I met this guy in a jail cell, and I kind of thought, is that what Cronenberg was talking about? And the ideas joined together, and I made my first film, you know. And rehabilitation through art, that term I'd known, or was at least in my brain, because of a Cronenberg film. So in some small way, it was kind of a part of my first movie. So I've got that to thank him for as well.
Right. Thank you, John.
Oh, thank you. It's a pleasure to talk about.
We're going to have to end the tonight now because it is clock's bonging away, 11 o'clock. So thank you for people who joined in and came to the stream. I appreciate it.
Cheers, Perry.
We're going to, myself and Kieran, we're going to do a stream maybe next weekend. Kieran wants to talk about Oliver Stone and Quentin Tarantino. So I've got to do some homework. So myself and John's next stream, well, there's maybe we're going to discuss things.
So it'll be the beginning of next month, probably, is our next one.
Probably the middle of next month. I'll let you know.
All right, cool.
But so hopefully we'll have an idea. So take it easy, guys, and I'll put a wee notification up, and so it'll probably be next weekend, if not the weekend after. So fingers crossed it'll be next weekend, because the weekend after is bank holiday weekend here. So
thanks very much, everyone. I've really enjoyed talking about Cronenberg.
Yeah, me too. Take it easy, lads and lassies, and